I'm going to eat your head.
I don't know if that works with the rest of the song.
Whatever.
So I just started recording just
great.
in time to get you saying, I am going to eat your head.
Awesome.
Well, that's
an intro, all right.
that's a thing.
We will not be providing context for
Welcome
that.
back
Fuck
to
it.
Dave Dragowski
No
hits
context.
record at inopportune times.
Yeah, that's as good a name for the show as any.
It's the Three
Dude
Dudes Cast. Bubba boom. We are here. I'm the host. I'm in charge. I make the rules. I suck all the dicks. I make all the
Oh, goodness.
bitches do what bitches do
Woo!
on the floor,
Off to a great start.
Which is
which is
Watch me blow dicks.
make it rain. I am
I
the
make women kneel on the floor and watch me blow dicks.
look.
Lines of
do
them.
not disrespect my religion.
Dave Dragowski, 2020.
That's funny.
So now look, it's the Three Dudes show. I'm in charge.
All right.
And that means
Captain Slam is
it's
in the driver's seat.
yes, probably, hopefully going to be a good time. It's always a good time on the Three Dudes show.
Yeah.
Oh, we're nice and loose today.
We've only done one episode that wasn't like happy at all, I think. We did at least one episode that was just grim beginning to end.
Did we?
Yeah, we did.
Which one was that? Was it the one about crying
I
or the
wanna
one
listen to
about
that.
I think
The one about crying, I think, was
that was a good one. I think it was mine where it's like, let's talk about our health, and then like all we could do
yeah.
is like, well, we're all really unhealthy.
No, I think that was mine. I think mine was
Oh,
Was
yeah,
it?
it was yours.
I think
mine
it was
on medicine or
no,
was,
mine was medicine.
there was medicine and that yours was health. Yours was health.
yeah, we did do more than one.
The physical condition
Yeah.
of the dudes. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Ooh, which is, spoiler alert, not great.
All right. Well, don't worry. Tonight's topic has nothing to do with that.
Good.
Oh, good.
It's a
Good, because I got nothing good to say about that.
it's a new season, which means I'm debuting a new game. Ooh. I think it's going to be pretty good.
Oh, do we all have to get new games?
No, you don't have to. I just thought it'd be kind of fun, and I think this is. I'll explain later, but I've taken inspiration from a couple different sources, and I think this is going to
just Monopoly.
a full
Every
game
week.
extreme Monopoly.
As long as I get to be the boot.
I want to be the dog.
No.
Fair enough. I get to be the car.
No one can be the dog.
Actually, I was always the iron, and I don't know why.
Well, I mean, it's the easiest piece to stand up. Let's be real.
True. The dog has 4 legs, though.
I know, and it just never fucking stands up.
Yeah.
The shoe is easy enough to stand up, but no, the iron it's flat on the bottom like an iron ought to be, so it just sits there and
Really starting off with some hot takes.
doesn't topple over. Do you know that?
I remember when I bought a round iron and it just didn't work at all.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, a spherical iron. I had,
shape
I, had
of
to,
a ball.
I had to roll it over my clothes, and
What
it
was this?
burned the flesh off of my palm.
Try it out, honey.
Just a big iron sphere full of boiling water.
Just comes out of like a forge, and it's just white hot. Try it, honey.
It's a Mandalorian iron. This is the way.
I don't know what that is.
Oh yeah, you haven't seen it yet, have
Yeah, I
you?
don't know
God,
what that is.
fucking damn it, Dave.
Yeah, what a fucking dumbass.
It's a really good show. Anyway, you may not know this about Monopoly, but if you pass a space, if you land on a space and you decline to buy it, it becomes auctioned off to other players. The turn does not end until someone buys that property. It shortens the game of Monopoly drastically.
That's the way it's supposed to be played.
It's
I've
also
never played it that way.
the official rules.
That's the way you were right. That's why everybody's always like, "Oh, I hate Monopoly. It takes fucking forever." But
Now,
that's how you're supposed
It
to play.
shouldn't take forever
No.
if you play by the rules.
Now makes
Correct.
sense.
That's why I've always been trying to stress that to people because that's how you're supposed to do it. But
Right.
whenever you bring that up at a Monopoly table with Monopoly amateurs, they
You also do not.
Condescending to them.
You also do not collect money from the center if you land on free parking. That doesn't happen.
no, that's not it. That's the house rule.
Free parking and just visiting are just spaces where nothing happens.
Right.
It actually derails the economy of the game in a lot of instances if you play correctly because
Yeah.
you're just giving a bonus.
You play by
instead of-
Bernie Sanders' house rules.
right.
If you're familiar like we are with the meta, the Monopoly meta game, obviously obviously, Boot is extremely unbalanced.
Yeah.
He's got better attack stats. He's got like buku HP. You just can't beat it. I'm expecting the next patch to resolve it, especially when they introduce the next piece,
which is just a gun.
Which is just it's just an old timey revolver. Yeah,
moving a gun around the board. And if you land on this space, you get to use the gun to shoot the dog.
Nice property. I'll take it. All right, that'll be $600. No. I'll take it.
Yeah, right. Monopoly, but it's just theft.
Yeah. So anyway, none of that matters though because we're fucked. Obviously,
We sure are.
fucked.
as we typically are. Chris, why are we fucked?
We're fucked because people keep asking hair screwed. People keep. No, we're upset. Actually, when I say this, it's going to sound like that. So
Yes.
I might as well do it in that voice.
Yeah.
People keep asking Hillary Clinton's opinions on things,
It's just got to stop.
and people keep reporting it like anybody fucking cares.
It's just got to. You know what? It just has to stop for the country.
For the country's sake, you need to stop. If for nothing else than for the sake of the party that you helped cheat your way up to the top.
I would so rather her be my president than literally any Republican.
Yeah,
but
right.
I don't want to have to keep seeing her face
No.
anymore.
I agree.
No.
Well, and the problem,
Between her and Joe Biden, it's very clear that establishment Democrats are getting
Dude.
more and more out of touch.
Yeah,
Some,
and a little
like-
nervous. I think.
didn't Bob Dylan say one time, "Please get out of the way if you can't lend your hand"? Yeah. So
Yeah, shut the fuck up if
shut
you're not
up.
going to support
Right.
the party.
She was asked today. She I don't think she was asked. I think it was just part of the interview. They were talking about the candidates.
So the thing you're referring to comes from an upcoming 4-part Hulu documentary
Oh boy,
about Hillary Clinton.
gonna watch that
What?
one.
Yeah, there's still, for some reason, in 2020, we have to watch a 4-part documentary about someone who basically walked out of U.S. politics
Right.
4 years ago.
Is there any reason why? Can they justify in 4 parts why a documentary about Hillary Clinton would be better than a documentary about Michelle Obama?
I don't know. I mean, the thing is, Hillary Clinton's story is super fascinating and important. I'm not going to act like that.
She's super accomplished.
Yeah, exactly. And the fact that she managed to get that far and not take the presidency is like a failure of like a life's work, and it is awful and shitty. And we
Sure.
got the worst possible alternative, and there's all these reasons that she still matters.
Yeah.
I
don't want to hear her opinion on this.
Yeah.
because now she's running around. And the big thing that you're the one.
No, you're
telling
okay.
me
No,
this.
the big thing was that she basically said nobody likes Bernie Sanders.
Yeah.
It's talking like nobody in establishment politics likes Bernie Sanders.
Plenty of people.
Yeah, no
like
shit,
Bernie
because
Sanders.
like you said, billionaire Democrats are obviously gonna go against him.
No one
'Cause
establishment wants that guy.
his entire soapbox is that he's trying to pull the money away from the richest class.
Yeah, he's essentially a Democrat in name only, and everyone really knows it.
Right.
He's a member of the Democratic Party
To get on the ticket.
to be on the ticket.
Yeah, right.
Because it's the only way in.
Because he was an independent, classified as an independent.
He ran as a Democratic socialist,
Sure. Right,
sure.
sure.
in the state of Vermont when
Right.
he was governor. That was his stated party and platform.
But consider all the non-establishment Democrats that are behind him. I don't know. I keep seeing every time I look on, especially on social media, where again, like I said, in an earlier conversation, sometime last week, I think that's becoming more and more important, and it's something establishment Democrats aren't holding on to. I think whatever happens in this upcoming election, there's going to be a changing of the guard in the party.
Yeah.
I think it's
There has
approaching.
to be. It's almost well, and I think you're right, because no matter if Trump gets elected, which I've said many times, I'm almost positive is going to happen. At this point, I think it's going to happen. But even if a Democratic one of the Democrats wins, and
But
actually
what's the next
makes,
generation look like after that?
right? And it doesn't matter whether it's Elizabeth Warren or Joe Biden. You know what I mean?
All the rest of them at that age basically are
They're done. It's
Right.
There's going to be a changing of the guard no matter what, for whatever reason.
Regardless of the outcome of the upcoming election.
And I think Bernie has a really good chance to do well in the primaries. I still think he's going to get screwed out of it when it comes to the DNC.
I'll say this this though: in the crazy scenario that Bernie wins the primary,
And they give it to him?
I don't think it's impossible, and I don't even think it's unlikely that he wins the presidency.
Yeah.
He speaks to the exact set of voters who are willing to give the middle finger to the whole country and blow it up
Right.
over, issues that they have been ignored on for a long time.
Yeah. And that's, I kind of think, oh, here we go. 3 dudes talking about politics. That's the exact.
2020.
Yeah. Woo! That's the exact the 5% of voters, the 5% of voters that Donald Trump targeted and swung.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He pulled blue collar Democrats over.
He lost, the vote totals and still won the presidency.
Yeah, sure.
Largely on the backs of calculated strategy like that.
Yeah, and it obviously, it worked. He did a really, really good job of speaking to the heartland of America.
It does feel like we're going to do it again. I don't know
You can't win the presidency and not win.
We'll see.
Michigan and Ohio, and
I do wonder who that next generation is.
Yeah,
Because I do think Bernie, Biden, maybe even Warren. If they don't win this time, they might just be out.
yeah. I think that this will be the end.
Who's the next? Who's next in line? Is it people like Booker's age, or
Joe Rogan.
your Klobuchars and your I don't know if you guys saw the New York Times did their endorsement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vermin Supreme still hasn't gotten killed by ninjas yet somehow.
No,
So I mean, he's
I know.
still in the running.
Everybody gets a pony.
Yeah.
Everyone gets a pony.
Yeah, and the ninjas don't want that.
No,
Yeah.
they sure don't,
No.
because then you can run away from the ninjas.
Right.
You always have a pony on hand.
Ninja versus pony, who would win?
Ninja versus pony, the ninja would win.
You think?
But but a pony with a rider? You telling me you think?
I don't know.
You telling me you think the ninja's gonna win against?
Does that rider get like a baseball bat or?
No, just a pony.
See, you keep saying pony, and my mind keeps defaulting to unicorn.
Yeah.
And those are not the same thing.
My mind keeps defaulting to genuine.
Me too.
Riding my pony, I'm winning elections. Riding my pony, I'm fighting ninjas.
Yeah, so I don't know.
What
I want to correct something you said. The rider doesn't get the pony gets the rider. I think it's pretty clear.
It's pretty clear. Let me be
We
clear.
need to be accurate.
Let me be
here.
clear. The top 1% of ponies get the top 90% of riders,
I guess.
or something like that, right?
Sure.
The top 1% of cats get the top 90% of the salami.
I've heard this redistribution of jockeys thing, and I think it's all garbage.
So stupid. No, it's this is like the least opportune time for her to have an opinion about anything.
But as I told you earlier, a lot of people seem to think, I believe accurately, that Clinton trash talking Sanders right now is great for Sanders.
Yeah, actually, I think you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He actually, the way he handled it really well. I don't know if one of,
I saw this.
I didn't see it.
I don't know if one of his people told him to do this or if he just off the cuffed it. I'd like to think he off the cuffed it, but he said something like, because she said nobody likes him, and he responded by saying, "Oh, my wife likes me, most days."
It was like, on a good day, I'd say my wife likes me, and then he immediately changed the subject to impeachment.
If the question is likability, Sanders ain't your man.
Pivot.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Everyone knows that. It's not about whether he's likable. He's running a campaign of ideas.
Right.
Some people are not. Biden is not.
No.
No.
No one really cares. People who like Biden don't care what Biden wants to do.
Did you see what he said about game developers?
No, what?
He said that they're creeps who train kids to kill.
No, Biden?
Yeah, creeps. Exact word, creeps.
Joe.
Grandpa
Don't
Joe, no.
Video games are great. I'm sure you played a little Pac-Man at the arcade.
Right.
Stole a glance at someone's granddaughter. Like, hey. How you doing?
Smelled her hair a little bit.
Sipping on your Schlitz.
Schlitz. Of course he drinks Schlitz. Perfect.
The thing I can't stand about Biden, at least this time, it's like, I don't know who his people are, but he's like preaching this message of it's time for everybody to step aside and let, the young people have their say, and then runs a campaign based solely on
hating
ignoring
young
the
people.
Right.
Yeah.
It's crazy. He's not representative of the stuff that younger people actually care about.
Right.
It's so duplicitous. It's such double speak. It blows my mind.
Established. He's going to have the party support.
Oh, yeah.
As will Warren, I think. And I'd be much more comfortable with Elizabeth Warren.
Oh, for sure.
I would have been much more comfortable with Elizabeth Warren last time, if you know what I mean. But,
Very interestingly to me, the Times endorsed 2 candidates. They normally just endorse one. They endorsed 2.
Oh.
Those 2 were Warren and Klobuchar. 2 women, interestingly enough.
Yeah.
You know, your front runner Joe Biden, to me, shockingly, was not one of those 2. I'm actually really shocked it wasn't Biden as because their rationale was you got your centrist and you got your kind of like extreme left, right? And so these are 2 people that these are 2 paths for our country. I'm amazed Biden wasn't that path, the centrist path in the middle.
Yeah. Word around the bullpen is that Biden may not be as much of a front runner as everybody thinks.
Well, we won't know
We're not
until
gonna
That's what I heard.
Yeah. I mean, he does have black support basically locked, which is really important.
If you're watching, I don't think he has all black support. I think Bernie's got a lot more than, because he had a lot of black caucuses in Iowa.
Yeah. Bernie has a really strong shot of performing really well in the early states, and I think if he can do a lot with that.
Think about where you're getting the polling information. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It's getting delivered to you from like CNN, MSNBC.
Right.
Remember
like
how
that.
wrong the polls were in 2016?
Right.
Not just wrong, but how wrong.
Yeah.
Well, I remember you looked up 538
Yeah.
the election night.
Yeah.
And it had changed.
Yeah, there was a dramatic swing.
Like a dramatic swing where they said at one point Trump had an 80% chance to win. Do you remember that?
No, I remember him having an 80% chance to lose.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I remember leading up to the election, he was dramatically expected to lose.
Well, they
Yeah.
switched it where election night, he was ahead.
yeah, I don't know how far. I don't know when they put him ahead and how much, but yes, there was a big shift where it went like, oh, wait, all the way here at the last minute, maybe things aren't so, such a lock.
Yeah.
God, I hate thinking about that.
I know. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to bring everybody down.
So anyway,
this is the
we're fucked because
this is the least important time to hear Hillary Clinton's opinion on candidates.
Right.
And she's talking about candidates.
Yeah.
you're 4 years too late, Hill.
Yeah. Hill dog.
So anyway, Dave, why are you or we or the world fucked?
Well, I will tell you in a why we're fucked that comes from the deep in the bowels of the DMV, where I spent lunchtime today.
You had hinted at this earlier.
I don't really have a lot of. I don't have a problem with the DMV most of the time. It's a place where when I go, I know I'm going to wait. I know I'm going to sit there and wait a good long time, and I'm okay with that.
The Department of Mechanized Vixens.
Which
Yeah, it's a robot strip club down there on
which DMV do you go to? Because I've never had to wait too long in the Boardman one.
West Side Merchants.
Yeah.
Oh well, there's your problem.
It might be actually. So maybe it just serves too many people or something. I haven't been there obviously in a year because you go when you have to go every year.
Right.
They have changed the whole system there now in a way that irritates the shit out of older people, and I have discovered this now after being there. They have this. They used to have you take a number.
Yeah.
Everyone can wrap their head around that.
Sure.
Because it's a number in your hand, and there's a number on the wall, and you look at that until they match, and everyone, no matter how feeble and stupid, can follow the process.
Technology cannot improve every situation.
No, it really, honestly, I don't know that this new system was necessary myself, but whatever. They've got the system, right? So what happens is you walk in, you see a sign where the taking number used to be, and it points you over to the machine by the soda machine, and you put your number in on a pad, and then you put your name in on a pad, and then you choose the reason you're there. They tell you a number. They also text it to your phone.
I hate that.
And you sit. But the thing that's nice is they actually text you when you're next. So if you're not paying attention, you zone out. You go, oh, wait, I'm next now. It's okay. It's not a big problem.
Yeah.
None of this is really why we're fucked. This is just the beginning. This is the setup for a day where people are in there and they're frustrated.
This is a preemptive fuck.
Yeah, things started getting fucked when this was the environment that it happened in. So what happens is I'm sitting down in a chair, just trying to mind my own business and try to ignore the old guy grumbling behind me. It's stupid, like no one's happy. And I see across the way, there's this guy with his wife at the counter, right? And because it's the way the building is, you can't not overhear every conversation in there.
Right.
Because there's like no walls.
Oh yeah, I've heard some interesting ones.
Yeah. So this conversation is this guy and his wife, and she can't speak English, and she has to take an eye exam thing in order to get her license, right? She has to do the vision test.
Yeah.
But she can't do the vision test if she can't read the things, and they can't communicate with her about what row to look at and all that stuff. And this guy is getting really irritated. So it's not like he's yelling, but you can just see he's like
Getting amped up.
Yeah, he's getting amped up, and he's trying to like keep it buttoned down. And his wife doesn't know what's going on. And I feel for this woman, right? She's the person. She's one of two people in this story I don't hate.
And like he clearly doesn't speak her language.
That's the other thing. So this dude doesn't speak her language.
Like mail order bride or something?
I don't know. But the thing is, they're both like in their like 40s, maybe, you know? And somehow he doesn't know her language and she doesn't know his, right?
That's very weird.
So they're talking with her. The woman behind the counter is trying to say, you know, like, do you have a translator? Is there a translator you can
Google
to bring in?
Translate, bro.
We're going there.
Sorry.
She can't find a translator, or she doesn't know what's being asked of her. The husband is getting pissed off. He just walks away. He walks away. He's all pissed off. He walks away, leaves her at the counter, and he's going, come on. He's doing that big hand gesture, like, come on, let's go.
God, there's nothing I hate worse than dudes who are mean to their wives.
I know, especially
Fucking
in public.
Yeah.
Where it's like, it's not just mean, it's humiliating.
Yeah, right. I can't stand
He's
that.
going, come on. He's doing that big, like, gesture, and he just walks out. And so she's still standing there at the counter with the clerk who's been helping her, that clerk's supervisor, who is behind, you know, trying to get this thing worked out. And she's sitting there going, do you have a translator? I can't help you without a translator. She's being incredibly patient.
Yeah.
Incredibly patient. Then she gets the idea for a phone translation thing. So she's saying, your phone, she's doing this gesture. Do you have a phone? And somehow this conveys the information to this woman, who leaves the building, goes to her car where her husband has just stormed out.
He's huffed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't get him back in there.
No, so she grabs the phone, I guess, and comes back in. The woman handling this situation behind the counter has now invested basically a full half hour in, like, just helping to get the phone there and get the translation app on there and get the thing going, and it works.
Yeah.
And she's able to do her exam.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Google Translate's actually low-key amazing.
Yeah, you
It's
can
come
hit
a
the
long
button.
way.
You can hit the button where it's just you talk and it speaks.
Yeah.
They talk and it speaks, and no one has to touch anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's come a long way.
We use it at
really
work
has.
a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
For people who come in who speak Spanish.
Huh.
We
So-
had a couple French people in too.
So this woman is like incredibly grateful, as you would be, because someone actually took the time to help you when your fucking deadbeat husband,
Right.
would have been ready to just fucking walk.
Right.
Out of sheer curiosity, what language was she speaking?
I don't really know. I mean, I can make guesses based on what she looked like, but I don't really know.
Swedish, Russianese.
Russianese.
Romanian. I don't know. I mean, she looked like an Asian lady. I can only guess what language she speaks.
Sure.
But so they go through this whole thing, and she's super grateful, and she's doing that like two hands pray gesture thank you thing,
yeah.
and it just kind of like warmed my heart, right?
Yeah.
That someone took that time. So the sort of like closer of the story is that woman is the woman that helps me get my driver's license photo, and she walks me into the booth, and she's just going like, she's like, you can see she's like really frustrated.
She had a frustrated day.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
said, bad day, huh? And she says, you have no idea. And I'm like, yeah, maybe I don't. And then I realized that's definitely what she's talking about.
Yeah.
And I said, did that whole thing work out? And she says, yeah. And she says, my ex, and then she says, I shouldn't say ex, my husband, he's passed.
Yeah.
His parents were from, I can't remember specifically where in Japan, and so was he. And she's saying this to me as metered as she can. And she says, maybe it's just me. I'm used to being patient.
Yeah.
And I told her I had the same feeling, because I told you I'm listening to people grumble behind me. I'm watching
Yeah.
this
Yeah,
display.
right.
I'm looking around at everyone who's all pissed off. People say, this whole thing sucks. I don't want to be here.
You know what? The people working there don't really want to be there either.
Right.
No one wants
No
to
one
be
wants
at
to
the
be there.
DMV.
Nobody.
But
It's not,
it's-
it's
but
not
like-
a fun place.
Patience is a pretty easy skill to practice, though.
Yeah.
It sure
you know?
is. Yeah.
It is.
it doesn't take a lot of effort, really. It just takes being in the moment.
I wasn't happy to be there either, but what I did was I sat in my chair for 35 to 40 minutes, and I did regular breathing, and I stared at the lights in the ceiling and looked around, and I tried to keep a smile on my face.
You know, play on your phone, like
My phone died.
Fuck,
Bro, you really got to get a new phone.
I told you my phone died 4 fucking times today.
It's time.
I know. But anyway, the point of the story really is be patient and be nice to people, especially when they don't want to be there any more than you do. So like, what an incredibly frustrating that guy. Just like thinking about him pisses me off because this woman is in this country where she doesn't speak the language anyone else speaks, or probably most nobody else, and neither does he. And he's her husband. And like when stuff like this happens, he gets pissed off and walks away.
That's ridiculous.
Leaving her there in a room full of people who are looking at her like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're fucked because of that guy.
Yeah.
But also,
Yeah, fuck that guy.
but the flip side is things are good because of that lady.
Yes.
You know, you fuck that guy, but that lady, don't fuck her.
Fuck him. Don't fuck her. That's
what I
takeaway.
learned.
Especially not at the DMV. That would be
No,
weird.
don't do it there.
No,
you can fuck that guy there.
No,
That's
you
okay.
can don't fuck someone anywhere.
Right.
But at the DMV, don't fuck him.
Right.
No, you can fuck him at the DMV. What are we talking about? Of course you can fuck him at the DMV. Or at least in the car that he went to.
I'm just saying you can don't fuck someone wherever you are.
Yeah, I'm not fucking you guys right now.
There's a lot of people I'm not fucking all over the world
I'm
right
don't
now.
fucking you right now. But, you know, if you're going to fuck that guy, you got to do it in or around the DMV because that's where this happened.
It would be inopportune to fuck him anywhere else.
No, you got to fuck him at the scene of the fuckery?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But don't
You
fuck
gotta do
that
it right
lady.
there so he learns his lesson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't fuck his wife, but especially don't fuck the lady at the DMV because she was really nice.
And what's really important is the DMV, as you may know, no matter where it is in the world, is American soil. So it has to be, by doing it on American soil, that's
law.
Right. That's why I'm buying a flying DMV
Right.
So you can copulate on American soil
wherever I am.
wherever I am.
I can float it down the Pacific.
I like to think you're just like in an island nation and it's still like white Americans walking in. It's like, God, they're all pissed. Fucking damn it. I had to go all the way to Tonga for this.
Yeah, because that's the nature of the DMV.
Fucking pulls half a coconut out of his.
He drinks and goes, this is fucking bullshit. I like the old system where I got a number. Hey, no, I don't have to fly to Tonga.
Yeah, that's how the DMV works. It will draw angry people.
And then you
wherever it
get mad at that guy, and then you gotta fuck him.
is. You gotta fuck him right there at the DMV.
Tonga is the most random country
I know,
you could
I'm
have
sorry.
chosen to.
It's the first thing that popped into my head.
You gotta smash his face against that linoleum countertop and teach him who's
Just
boss.
bend him over and just fucking, fuck you, buddy, for being impatient.
Well, you got to get your tags.
You gotta be
renewed, but
nicer to your wife, you hear me?
She's just doing her job.
But you got to get your tags renewed, but you're in fucking like Palau or East Timor.
Wow. Also specific.
Anyway.
Anyway.
Yeah, that's it. That's why we're fucked. But also,
Yeah.
like, sometimes things are good.
Yeah. I'm fucked because my car is a piece of shit and I can't afford to replace it right now.
Oh,
But
big
you're
move.
significantly less fucked because Aubrey is presenting you.
calamari?
That's
with treats.
calamari.
I ate some.
Where did that come
Fuck, you have calamari? Oh, fuck, dude. All right, I'm sorry.
All right,
I know this is
smells
supposed to be for you, but
No. It's for all of us.
Everybody.
I'm not hungry, so please help yourselves to calamari.
Oh.
It was for me, and I can't eat all
Actually,
of it.
I'll have one thing of calamari. And
There's no
that's
way
it.
you're not going to taste this calamari now that it's been brought to
oh
you.
my
Right.
god.
Okay, that's good. I don't need any more calamari.
Oh god. You have no idea what this is doing for me right now.
High quality. Where is that from?
Davidson's.
Oh, Davidson's. Good.
I literally cannot explain to you what this is doing for me right now.
I can tell you why we're not fucked.
This cast brought to you by Davidson's, guys.
Oh my god.
Sponsor us.
Great
Sponsor.
Italian food.
Oh my god. It's just us chewing into the microphone. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Like the meatball episode.
So what I was saying is,
Oh, there's some celery salt on that one.
Well, anyway, so why I'm fucked is because my car is becoming increasingly suckier and I can't pay for it anymore.
That car has really lasted.
Yeah.
It has.
For a Pontiac, that's huge.
Yeah, it is a 2004 Pontiac vibe. And so that means
Hi, Bo.
it has lasted for 16 years.
That's great.
Did you, you guys know that rear window of mine is
that's
busted out.
spiderwebbed,
It's
yeah.
like spiderwebbed. One tiny little piece fell out of it.
Oh no.
Today.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
So, now,
today.
so eventually.
So we're working on getting it fixed.
yeah.
Been talking with Greenwood. Aubrey's been talking with Greenwood because I was at work at the time.
Right.
So we're gonna get that replaced.
Okay.
But that still doesn't fix the fact too that the dash light that controls what air vents my thing comes out, that light is out. So I have to do it blind, which is okay because I just always keep it on defrost anyway.
Yeah.
Me too. Hashtag defrost gang.
The LCD clock is starting to become like blurry, almost like.
Really? Like it has condensation inside it or something? Or?
No. Like parts of it are lighting up outside of the LCD display. But then they go away after a while after the car's been on for a bit.
Okay.
And then I don't know. There are just all sorts
Lots of weird little shit.
weird little shit that is eventually going to accumulate into big shit.
Can you get your hood open at least? I can't remember if you ever got that fixed.
I can get my hood open. Getting it completely closed is a different story, if you recall.
Yeah.
No, it lashes fine. But yeah, it's and I, there's gonna be a point soon where I need to get a new car, and I don't know if I can really afford it right now. I mean, I can if I really, really scrimp and save, but that's gonna be, I don't know. It'll work out. Shit always works out. And,
but that's a frustrating one because a car is like you spend a lot of time in it.
Mm-hmm.
Trisha's got the same thing going too, so I get it. It's tough when you don't make a shitload of money.
You spend enough time in a car that like really those little things add up to like a big amount of your like frustration.
Well, and you're in a position now where like I don't know exactly what you make, but it's better than what you were making. So
yeah, it's definitely better than what it was. But yeah, it's something I'll have to deal with coming down the long road. But for the short term, for the immediate foreseeable future, yeah, that's why I'm fucked. Which isn't, again, it's not too bad. It's not, I don't have cancer as far as I know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's just a brief why I'm fucked.
Speaking of cancer, there's some good news that I'm sure you guys probably saw today too.
Dave, speaking of cancer, Dragowski.
Dave does not have cancer.
Dave, the brighter side of cancer, Dragowski.
Always look on the bright side of cancer.
There is none.
There isn't one.
No, so today it was announced that some researchers, some British researchers, had discovered a. I'm trying to remember what exactly it is referred to as, but basically what it is a part of your immune system, like it can target cancerous cells.
I saw that.
In a way that they've been working on this for a while using gene therapy, I think essentially CRISPR to modify these things.
It's on like the genetic level, right?
Yeah, right. So they're looking for, I guess, on the surface of all of the cells of your body, there is a compound, one of these things, a couple of letters and a number that is like, it's there and it signals when there is a metabolic abnormality present, the likes of which you would find in a tumor. And so they have now found a way to specifically target all of these cancers. They were previously able to do it in things like blood cancers, but now they can do it in things that are like solid masses, like tumors.
Wow.
It's going to take a really long time for that to actually turn into something useful for anybody. But like they can do it in a dish, right?
Wow.
And that has
But
really
can they
big
do it with a
implications.
fish? Can they do it in a box? Can they do it with a fox?
That's a great question. That's
Mr.
a great
Fox, sir.
I don't like cancer, Sam. I am.
I don't know a rhyme for that. I don't like cancer, Sam. I am.
Yeah. Well, me neither. But yeah, no, it looks kind of promising. That's like good news, right?
Me neither.
Yeah.
Should we ever consider good news as part of the show, or is bad news basically our MO now?
That's kind of our MO.
I like good news.
Yeah.
Good news is good.
We could do a why we're not fucked.
I guess we already kind of do.
We kind of do if we don't feel especially fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So that was my why we're fucked. It's pretty brief, pretty manageable.
Well, then, if that's
If that is that, we're gonna take a break.
okay, take a break and eat more of this fucking
Oh my God, dude.
When we come back, I'll introduce you guys to a brand new game, and we will introduce our topic for this week. Which
Awesome.
I don't know how it's gonna go. It's a weird one, but we'll see what happens.
I like weird.
All right.
I do too.
Well, we'll be right back.
Yeah, we'll be right back.
Welcome to the Three Dude Podcast. Hey, yeah.
You can find us at 3dudecast.com.
If you're wondering whether that's spelled with the numeral 3 or the word 3, the answer is yes.
We're so proud of ourselves.
We're so clever. We're such clever boys.
Wow. We've switched hosting to Podbean. You can still find us on iTunes and Google Play. So give us a like.
Yeah, give us a like, give us a listen, give us a review somewhere.
Give us a sandwich.
Give us a high five.
Give us sponsorships.
Please give us a hug.
Give us that money.
And welcome back.
Yeah.
Three Dudes Podcast, episode number 82.
Still more calamari.
There's a lot of calamari here.
Yeah, oh good. I'm going to eat a whole shitload
You got
more.
those little squiddy bits there? Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Squiddy
Oh my
bits.
God, that's a big one. Oh, please, Dave, eat
Squid
me.
bits.
I'm just gonna do a
Dip
little
me in some cocktail sauce and eat me, Dave.
squiddy
Dave.
bits.
Yeah.
It's all
Squiddy bits.
What's that?
It's all squid.
No, I know, but the ones that like the little
Oh,
tiny
with
tentacles.
tentacles.
Yeah.
Oh, Dave, eat me. Eat every part of me, Dave. I'm going to eat you. Yum, yum, yum.
So, new season. I figured it'd be fun to try a new game. This was something I came up with yesterday, and had to. I had like during my break at work, I was doing the research I would need for this game.
Okay.
Introducing Buyer Beware.
Oh.
Da-da-da-da.
All right.
So
Let's see.
the objective of Buyer Beware is I am going to read you several reviews, actual reviews, critical 1 to 3 star reviews from Amazon.com.
Ooh.
I have 3 products here. You have to guess what the product is based on these negative reviews.
Oh, this is good.
This is a great idea.
These are actual reviews. I've edited these for the sake of me being able to read them because some of these people can't fucking type, and also so that I don't give away the name of the product in the
Right.
thing or any details.
Yeah, you can't you can't make it so it's actually telling us what it is. You gotta-
Right, like if I was to open a review by saying, this is, Tarantino's most violent movie ever.
Yeah.
you that would narrow it down quite a bit, obviously.
Sure. Okay.
So bear in mind, these can be either reviews of actual physical products, or they can be reviews of creative media, movies, books, music, etc.
Okay.
But you'll probably get what it actually, what category it falls under, just by hearing the reviews.
Okay. Cool.
So for the first one, we have 3 reviews for this. The first one comes from Lieutenant Bean. Do not waste your money. Try it in the store first and think, will I actually use this? It's a novelty sham. And those instructional videos are 2 steps away from porn. They're hilarious, especially the men's one.
Okay.
Any guesses?
I have an inclination.
Okay, so it's something that both men and women can use,
Yeah.
but presumably for a different reason.
I have a really hard time thinking it's not the shake weight.
Okay. Let's
It's
get
something like it.
That's
exercise,
a really good guess.
exercise equipment or
now
something
keep,
that.
Yeah, now keep in mind if you have a final guess, you can submit it at any time. If you're right, we'll move on and I'll read the rest of the reviews.
Yeah, I want to hear another one though.
Okay. From Rosario Scuderi. Loud and clunky. Thought it may help rehab my elbow. Now I see why this item is the butt of so many jokes.
I think you might be onto something there.
I
Bosco.
think it's something like that, but why would the shake weight rehab your elbow? It seems like if anything, it would put a lot of stress on. Well, I guess that's what rehab.
Maybe
is.
it's a stress band. Like one of those stretchy stress
Yeah,
bands.
right. I think we need more information though.
Okay. The final review is from V. Marshall. I tied it to my cock and proceeded to shake. Now my dick is huge like an elephant's trunk and can easily punch out a mugger.
If this isn't the shake weight,
It's the
I
shake
have
weight.
to quit the show. I don't know. Maybe it isn't, but I feel like we should guess shake weight.
I think you're right.
It's the shake weight. These are
I tied this to my dick.
these are real 1-star reviews for the shake weight.
That's so good, Ben. This is a great game. I don't know how you thought of this.
It's brilliant.
It came to me. Well, I was thinking about the movie reviews thing that Dan did, where you have to bid the number of actors,
Right.
And then I was like, well, I can't come up with anything that complicated, but Amazon reviews are a fucking gold mine.
They are.
So I'm going to.
I mean, there's some people who just write them for humor's sake, and that's all they do.
Yeah. Okay. This next one has 4 reviews.
Okay.
That I deemed worthy. Bridget Short says, I don't care if this is considered a classic. It's terrible. I only read it to help my son with it. It's full of drinking parties and married people having affairs. This is one of those things from our history that doesn't apply to us anymore.
This is a review for the book The Great Gatsby.
I kind of felt like that off the bat.
I think it's The Great Gatsby.
I don't want to final answer it though, because I want to hear these other reviews.
Okay.
Let's get another one.
Let me hear another one just to be sure.
Johnny Bobcat says, it was a good story, but not enough pictures. 3 stars.
Okay. Yeah, maybe give us a different one.
Kelly Burns says, my son hated this book, and I read a little bit of it myself. Horrible! Do not read this book if you can. It will ruin your life.
Oh my god! I mean, I don't fucking like The Great Gatsby either. But
Yeah, that's a little bit much.
I'm gonna go with The Great Gatsby.
Yeah, you know what? I think we can plug this one.
Yeah.
Final answer?
Yeah.
Final answer.
It's The Great Gatsby. The last review is from
Thank you.
Yeah, very nice.
The last review is from Jamie27, who says, I found this book utterly immature, not the classic I expected at all. Half stories told half-assedly, with most descriptions applying to the irrelevant.
Yep.
Pretentious with no real substance.
Oh.
Most interesting thoughts were the possibilities of a thought-provoking tale, as I'd find myself running away with the story, making it my own, and better at that.
Oh wow,
Wow.
This guy liked imagining what was going to happen next more than reading it.
Yeah, that was a really pretentious review, but I agree with everything he just said. Having read The Great Gatsby.
Wow.
Not great. I don't get it.
I didn't mind Great Gatsby. I wasn't forced to read it, though.
I wasn't
Is
forced
that
to
the
read it.
difference? Okay.
No, I went to a library when I was 19, and I'm like, I'm an English major. I should read The Great Gatsby.
Yeah.
Started reading the classics, and it was terrible. I hated it.
I never read that one.
I will say the book I read after that was In Cold Blood, and that is a great book.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
It's really good. It's long, so if you could dig through like a long form, partially like story driven part, and then
Yeah.
like partially like trial driven narrative. It's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Okay, last product.
That was a good guess.
Thank you.
Last product. First review is from Patherson in all caps. There is the name is in all caps, not
Yeah.
the review. There is so much blood in this film that I guess Quentin Tarantino could have directed it. It seems the director was having fun trying to create new and modern special effects showing people being butchered. It's always the same with him. He wants to give you a message, but the only thing he's after is your money. Where's the message against war in this movie? Showing thousands of tons of blood will only make children play soldier more frequently.
Like an especially bloody war film that purports to be like an anti-war film. Or
Immediately, I'm thinking Rambo, but like the new one, because I don't think this guy has seen the other Rambos. Obviously,
yeah, right.
Initial guess is Rambo, but I'm going to need another one.
Okay.
Yeah, I need more too. I don't know.
The next review, and I really can't make sense of this one, from Dingo the Pet Berry Tree Hunter. Boring,
Sure.
nonsense, and clearly an act of treason.
Oh wow. An act of treason.
Clearly an act of treason.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my god.
So Stallone is a Democrat.
So are a lot of people in Hollywood, to be fair.
Wait, did was Stallone mentioned specifically in these reviews?
No, but he's in Rambo.
Right.
It's-
Right, like that's supporting.
I haven't watched the new Rambo, so I'm not sure. Sure.
Yeah. An act of treason.
It wasn't my war.
So this one I wanted to include because I thought it was hilarious.
Okay.
Hunter Marshall. My uncle made me rent this when he was drunk, so great movie.
Weird.
And then from Ravenlore, this might seal the deal on this one.
Mm-hmm.
While the opening sequence pulls no punches and is truly a technical achievement, it should be obvious the director uses the heartbeat of this story to do his Jewish duty and portray those nasty Germans as totally vile, even making it clear that German POWs should be shot. It's a testament to his manipulative skills that this film is as popular as it is. It is, after all, supreme propaganda.
I have a guess, maybe?
Okay.
I don't know. Well, I'm trying to remember. It's been so long since I watched... It's been so long since I watched Schindler's List.
Yeah.
And I don't remember it being bloody.
No. Well, there's parts of it that are... The blood that it uses are like... To really like... It's in singular moments, you know what I mean? To like dramatic effect. It's not gory. But it is. There is parts of it that are bloody.
Definitely about World War II.
Can I give you a hint?
Yeah.
See, I'm thinking 1917, like the movie that just came out. But he said rented it.
You did also say Germans, but the Jewish thing makes me think there's World War II ties.
Yeah.
Can I give you a hint? You have the right director.
Okay.
It's Saving Private Ryan.
Is it?
has
What
to
else
be.
would it be?
It's I can't think of anything.
He did that movie. Didn't he do that movie about the Olympics being held up or whatever?
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Munich,
yeah.
But like, what really movie opens with a huge, big technical accomplishment?
Saving
Big
Private
bang?
Ryan. That's the D-Day scene at Saving Private Ryan is the intro, which is a technical achievement. It's really good.
Let's say it.
It's a good.
Let's go for it.
Saving Private Ryan. This changed dramatically.
Yeah, it did.
It's Saving Private
Yeah.
Ryan.
Well, thanks to the anti-Semite out there.
Yeah, right. Steven Spielberg.
Yeah. Should be obvious that Spielberg uses the heartbeat of this story to do his Jewish duty and portray those nasty Germans as totally...
What a despicable thing to say.
Okay,
Fuck you.
they're the Nazis.
Right. And also...
when did we become kind of pro-Nazi here in America?
Also-
and can I turn that back?
I should mention the point he's talking about with the German POWs where they're surrendering.
Yeah.
You know, you probably read, because it's been spread all around the internet, that those guys are speaking Czech.
Yeah.
And they're saying, like, we're not Germans, don't shoot. And
I didn't.
oh yeah,
I didn't know that.
no, yeah, they're. But the fact that they're peaceably surrendering and then get gunned down by the Americans is not supposed to be a triumphant scene.
Yeah.
We're not supposed to cheer for that.
No, I wouldn't read it that way.
This neo-Nazi Raven lore, as he goes by on Amazon, is clearly very ignorant to the point of the movie.
I was going to say that's a very that scene is like.
I wonder if there's some way that we can use the power of like a bunch of idle redneck Nazis to do something good for the world. And just dupe them into doing something they don't want to do to help everyone else out.
Yeah.
What if we convince them that like Jews hate Totino's pizza rolls? And then we harness the power of racist rednecks to increase the world's supply of Totino's pizza rolls.
Yeah.
I love Totino's.
You know what the Jews really hate? Giving to charity generously.
Right.
So don't do that.
Yeah.
Definitely don't.
The Jews are now all Republican. Please.
I'm only kind of joking.
No, I
I
feel that.
I wonder if there's a way to troll the Nazis of the world that are somehow back.
As a fan of great cinema, that does piss me off that they completely misread what's supposed to be one of the. Okay, have you ever seen Apocalypse Now?
Not yet, but I'm familiar with it.
Okay, there's a scene in Apocalypse Now where Martin Sheen, like, in a scene where they're on the riverboat, you know what scene I'm talking about? Where they're on the river, they meet up with a bunch of local.
Oh yeah.
And one of the commander of the boat basically makes them stop and do a checkup.
That
to make
person
sure
is
they're
usually
not,
called the captain, but
Shut up, Bo. I think Christy's home.
yeah. But they usually
Bo, go.
So they like stop the boat, and there's a scene where Martin Sheen, in order to end this confrontation with another riverboat full of locals, they're basically checking to make sure they're not smuggling arms to the Viet Cong.
Yeah, right.
Martin Sheen, in order to end the confrontation without because it's more and more escalated, he ends up just shooting the people on the boat.
Yep.
Just fucking in cold blood, out of nowhere, just fucking kills all of them and goes, "All right, let's go." Like I don't have time for this. I have I have something I have to do.
Right.
And that's what that scene in Saving Private Ryan is supposed to be like. It's supposed to be like a part where the audience goes, "Oh my god!" Like
Yeah,
you
right.
realize
Yeah.
what movie you're watching.
Right.
You're shocked, and the people in the movie are just. This is just what they.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is just how things work.
Yeah, what's especially cold about that scene too is after they shoot him, one of the guys says, "What do you think they were saying?" And he holds up his hands and goes, "Look, Ma, I washed for supper."
Yeah. Right.
Oh my god,
Yeah,
that's awful.
It's dark as fuck. But
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
that's Buyer Beware.
I
hope
love it.
I hope you guys.
That's really good.
I actually
really
just
good.
wish we had more of them right now. That was super
I have
fun.
to up my game up.
Yeah, I'm gonna
to
try
speak.
and do 3 every time I come on. Every time I'm hosting.
I put 3 stars by that, Ben, because you did a 3-star job
Thank you.
out of 3.
Thank you for being specific. You did a 3-star job.
I just want you to know you did 3 out of 3, buddy.
I'm gonna have to pick things that are less obvious than the Shake Weight and Great Gatsby, but I'm glad Saving Private Ryan tripped you up a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah, that game's
Shaving
scaled in a good way.
Ryan's Privates.
Shaving Ryan's Privates.
What do you think ever happened to those privates?
To those privates,
Yeah.
all those privates, they
They're
went
still
down.
probably attached to Ryan.
I actually didn't. I never finished that movie.
Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
you-
watched some of it.
You don't know the big twist ending.
I
then.
think someone told me the big twist.
It's not a huge
Yeah.
twist.
It's a good movie. You should watch it.
I should.
It's actually a really good movie.
It's like God, that movie's like 20 years old, isn't it?
1999.
Fucking Jesus Christ.
You know what? Speaking of things that are weird and have been around forever, let me
Mick
talk
Jagger.
about myself for a second.
Oh,
No, so I was talking to Christy the other day. We realized, so I met her when I was like 16.
Yeah.
Which means I have now officially known her longer than I have not known her
Oh, that's awesome.
at 33.
Up top.
Yeah. How weird is that?
It is
though?
weird. This is gonna sound strange. I had the same feeling when when I hit the birthday where I had known Alec longer than what
Yeah,
I mean?
right.
right.
You know,
And he called him up and dirty,
I
dirty
realized
talked him on the phone
actually,
for a while.
I really, you know what? I fucked this all up because I've known Alex since I was like 2.
Yeah, so
but I had
basically by 4 you.
I was like, I called him up. I'm like, dude, what the fuck?
Dude, we're like 4.
We're like, ugh.
I feel like I've known you forever.
And you've had like pretty much constant contact too, which
we
is
never really
like
stop doing the thing.
fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway,
That's great.
I'm kind of glad we got off on this this Rambo / Apocalypse Now / Saving Private Ryan
Where we
tangent. Because this is going to be a weird one. I don't know where it's going to go. I want to talk about weapons.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
I want to talk about swords and catapults and guns.
Real
and
guns, video game guns.
Any kind of gun.
Well, I think we should start by saying that the trebuchet is the ultimate siege weapon.
Obviously, can hurl a 90-kilogram projectile
Right.
over 300 meters.
Come on. The ultimate
you gonna-
siege weapon.
You gonna say that's not the best? Come on, catapults. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Catapults don't even have a counterweight. It's a weak ass spring-loaded mechanism. Like, who the fuck gives a shit about catapults?
Actually,
the
catapults
trebuchet is where it's at.
They do suck. I mean, this is like we're joking, but like that is this is a very serious opinion.
Yeah.
You know what I read the other day is that catapults were used by the Mongols for biological warfare, like
What do they throw?
dead bodies,
Ugh.
their own dead. They
Gross.
would siege cities like this. You know, when they had the city surrounded, to spread
Disease.
inside the city walls, and that would cause people to flee. It's the leading theory as to why the bubonic plague came to Western Europe.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
People fleeing the biological warfare of the Mongols.
Whoa.
Yeah.
There was a thing I read that was like Genghis Khan fucked so many people that there's
Yeah.
like a 0.004%
More than that.
Yeah, it's wait.
It's like in the 6 to 8% range of people that are descended from him on planet Earth.
Yeah, the highest estimates say 1 in 7, but I don't necessarily believe that.
It's crazy.
It is crazy.
great Khan of Khans.
That's a whole lot of raping.
Yeah, it sure is.
I'm gonna say too much.
You know what? I'm gonna take
Hot take here.
Let me take a strong opinion.
I don't want to offend anyone.
I don't know if you're gonna agree or not, but that's too much raping.
Too much raping. I don't know what the acceptable amount is, and I'm not going to even speculate.
The acceptable amount is anything more than none.
You know, I don't want to take a strong opinion there, Ben. I'm just saying it's definitely not that much. It's less than that.
Or I guess I should say the acceptable amount is none.
Yeah.
The threshold is where it becomes unacceptable is anything more than
Hot
none.
take.
Hot take.
Season 4 is going to be hot takes, guys.
Hot take. Sexual assault is bad.
Do you think
Debate me.
too much raping? You think if Genghis
at me.
Khan did a hip hop album, it would be too much rapping?
Oh my god.
Genghis Khan, prolific rapist.
No.
He rapped the shit out of
Except,
all those.
except he would definitely go by the alias Mongol Dirty Bastard.
Yes! This is why Tuesday's the best day. Mongol dirty bastard.
Mongol Dirty Bastard.
Just too much rape.
So I guess let's start with like
Yeah.
if you were involved in a like let's say you're put into a gladiator pit, melee weapons only. You don't get guns or bows or slings or anything like that. No ranged weapons. You have to pick a melee weapon. What's your first choice?
Short sword.
Short sword.
Short sword.
Yeah, it's quicker than a long sword. You only need one hand to wield it, and I can, I have my other hand free for balance.
But
if I
it
need
doesn't
to.
have a lot of reach.
It does not. So you have to get up close and personal. But I'm banking on the fact that if I can parry my way in close, you really just need one good shot under the armor in the stomach, or like
Sure.
up towards the neck.
But you got to really count on your maneuverability.
Right, that's the one thing that's tripping me up here. But I know that being like slow and stocky is going to be 10 times worse if I have a two-handed weapon because I'm going to be
Right.
over encumbered and short and stocky. Long swords are really, really heavy. So I want something nice and light. Either that or like a mace that I can swing.
Right.
Right.
Actually, let me revise that. Let me go with like a mace, like a short arm mace, like yay long.
Okay.
Yeah.
Something I can swing and club somebody in the head with and get them down fast.
Yeah, right.
Sure.
Or make them go down.
Are we assuming that we're very proficient with this weapon?
Assume that it would be a weapon that you would have trained in and like would want to be able to use to hold your own in a fight.
Right. So
Oh, then absolutely short sword. Absolutely short. If it's just me right now, it's the
right. That's because that's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
If it's just me right now, it's definitely a pistol,
Yeah,
but those
right.
aren't allowed in the
Right.
gladiator arena. So
If it's me, if it's fat ass me right now, it's a mace.
Yeah.
If I've been trained in it, I want a short sword.
okay.
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 I don't know. Okay, if I get to assume that I'm really well trained in it, I don't even know if it counts as a weapon. I kind of feel like I want a bullwhip.
That sure does count as a weapon. Whips are something that are been used as weapon. There's a type of weapon used in Tamil martial arts, like southern Indian subcontinent, called the urumi.
Okay.
Which is, imagine a cat of nine tails, except every whip is like a flexible blade. It's like sharp on the
my
edges.
God.
It's just like
Like a fillet knife kind of thing.
Kind of feel
Yeah.
like you were going to say, imagine a cat of nine tails, but every tail is another cat of nine tails.
Jesus
It's
Christ.
a cat of 81 tails.
A fractal weapon.
That's right. And guess what's on those 81 tails?
Nine more tails each.
You're about to get schooled in math. I don't know what I'm talking. I don't want that though, because that's impossible.
Here's a picture of a dude using an urumi for context.
Okay,
Oh,
so
shit.
So this is the thing. This is the direction I'm going in for the reason that I'm like way too fat and slow to count on getting in close with anybody. I think I need something that gives me range,
Yeah.
and that might be it.
Yeah. See,
You want to be able to strangle someone with a bullwhip from 15 feet away.
yeah, like look
yeah.
at this. This is essentially just like thicker piano wire.
Jesus, that seems gnarly.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Something that lacerates a lot.
Right.
It might not chop a limb off or like puncture.
It's going to
your
cause
heart.
a lot of pain in a lot of different places all
It's
at
going to
once.
cause a lot of people a lot of pain.
You're gonna be out there
You're gonna be out there.
And I was out there. I was there.
I was there. I was in
arena.
I was in Mongol, China. And I saw rapping Genghis Khan, and he dropped the most fire album.
Yeah. And then he launched 8 dead bodies into a town full of people and made them really mad.
Made a lot of people really sick with the plague.
I was his
A lot
concubine
of boobos.
for about 8 months, but we don't talk about that.
Yeah.
Boobos.
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 The bubonic plague.
Yeah, giving the old boobos.
Everyone's covered in
Hit him with a little
boobos.
boob, you know what I'm saying? Squeeze some boob on him.
Covered in boob.
Just covered in boob.
Go ahead and pop that nipple boil.
Don't like that. Don't like that. Don't say nipple boil to me ever again.
And a one,
Gross.
and a two, and a don't say nipple.
But yeah, no, I'm going with something like that. I don't want people imagine. Okay, it's a horrible thought, but really imagine getting hit with like 9 blade whips.
Yeah,
I mean, just the pain.
don't like that.
It really. I think you hit anyone with that. I don't care how tough they are. They're keeping their distance.
Yeah. Boy, I'm sure glad nothing like that ever happened in this country's history.
Yeah, boy, me too.
Oh my god.
So anyway,
It's a good thing we never did that.
now for my choice.
History hurts, and it's almost February.
Oh no. Yesterday was Martin Luther King Day.
Yep. We're sorry, America.
We're sorry, America. We're sorry.
Oh god, that beepy apology from South Park. We're sorry.
We're sorry.
We're so sorry.
No, so my choice would definitely be, and this is something I've thought about. My choice would definitely be a halberd.
Halberd.
A halberd, which is
Jim Halberd.
If any listeners are not familiar, it's a spear. It's like a poleaxe. It's a spear, has a pointed top, but then also a blade.
Oh, yeah.
On one side and a bill hook on the other side. So you have your choice of things you can do. You can slash with this.
Yeah.
You can spear and poke with this
Yeah.
to keep enemies at a distance.
You pull someone in by their armor.
You can just fucking get that bill hook in under their armor or around their ankle and just, you can do a lot of
You
damage
can
with a
sweep
halberd.
the leg with this thing.
Yeah. Yeah, you can do a lot of damage with a halberd. It has all the great qualities of an axe, of a spear, and of Cobra Kai. But the obvious downside, of course, is unlike a short sword, it takes a while to swing because it's so big. But I've always liked the idea of having a weapon with reach to keep enemies at a distance until they show an opening and then go for it.
Yeah, right. Because then it's all about tactics.
Right.
Then it's like you have the advantage of range, and it's just a matter of waiting for an opportunity.
Yeah, I got real good playing the Vanguard class in Chivalry, the ones that used all the pole arms and everything. That was what I used in Mordhau for the brief time I was playing that.
Yeah.
I think halberd for me would be the way to go.
Do you remember the YouTube channel of like the sword makers that would like chop through a pig and shit?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
They're still up there. Cold Steel or
Is that
American
them?
Steel or something like that.
Such
Steel.
Such a great idea. Because you see like fictionalized depictions of warfare with these like old melee weapons, but you really don't. Until you see something like that, you don't have a clear impression of exactly how hard those things fuck people up.
Yeah, and what exactly it does to meat.
Yeah, exactly. Because in the movies, people get hit and they go, "Whoa," and then they fall over.
Right.
And there's like a bloody circle on them. This is like, cleaving a person almost entirely in half.
Right. You remember that scene in Braveheart where the guy's charging at William Wallace and he like slices the dude's horse out from under him, and then as he's getting up, he chops his head off in one clean swing.
Yeah.
Like
Curved in his breastplate.
Yeah, like that's like some
gods,
metal.
I was strong then.
Some tally boy.
Who named you? Some fool with a stutter.
I remember before I brought
Lannister.
my warhammer down, he said, "Wait."
Why do I feel like Game of Thrones is like this thing where it's like we're just gonna try and focus on the early seasons
Because
forever.
that's what you need to do.
It's the only way to really enjoy
want
it.
to enjoy it. Focus
Just
on the
pretend
early
it never
seasons.
ended.
Yep.
Pretend that last season didn't happen.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like.
Anyway, how about that? Favorite weapon in Game of Thrones?
Favorite weapon in Game of Thrones?
Or let's expand this. How about favorite fictional fantasy weapon in general?
Oh my god.
That's
a big question. Of like specifically fantasy genre.
Yeah, which I realize isn't narrowing it down a whole lot because, like, you know, ask any World of Warcraft fan and they'll give you like 50 different answers.
Yeah, right.
I used to have one on my druid back in Wrath of the Lich King called Origin of Nightmares.
That's a great name.
It was really cool. It was just this long, great staff with it was all wooden carved with this giant eagle's head and like feathers sticking out of the top on the end of it, and it was pretty fucking beastly.
That's sweet.
Like I could tank like never before with that fucking thing. And then of course, as World of Warcraft goes, better shit came out.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
So Origin of Nightmares, what they did do that I liked was they let you take one weapon's appearance and apply it to another weapon. Same with armor. You could change the appearance of weapons and armor based on shit you already have.
Oh, really?
in your bank. Yeah. So I could change like whatever I wanted to look as cool as Origin of Nightmares
Okay.
and still have the stats of the newer weapon.
Well, that's a good
But anyway, bad tangent.
No, good tangent. Really good tangent. I don't know. I kind of feel like mine is always Sting from the Lord of the Rings.
Ooh.
I always really liked it as a concept of a little sword that glowed blue when a certain kind of danger was present.
Yeah.
I always thought that was cool as a kid.
Yeah, that is a supremely useful weapon.
Yeah, and the Bilbo handed it down to Frodo, who like didn't really fully appreciate what it did until it like was like the right time, like it
Useful,
saved
yeah.
him. You know,
Yeah.
like that's really cool to me. I always like
Yeah,
that.
Sting's a really good choice.
Sting. It's a good sort of like classic name too.
So I'm gonna go with one from Game of Thrones, but this is like way deep in the lore, and not everybody's gonna know.
Okay.
This is from House Dane. It's their ancestral sword, Dawn.
Oh yeah.
Don D-O-N. It's just Don.
Hey, what's
Meet
up?
our- meet
What's up?
us.
I'm Don. You want me to slice some people up for you?
Meet our ancestral sword. Don.
What do you want?
How you doing?
So the cool thing with so the idea behind like if you follow the lore of Game of Thrones, most ancestral swords are passed down from father to first son, or like next
Right.
male heir in
Like
the family.
Longclaw.
Like Longclaw is a good example.
The,
Was passed down from House Mormont until it was
Right.
passed to House Stark. Same with Ice, the ancestral sword for House Stark. If you follow that, that's and like most of these swords are like, famous weapons. A lot of them, if you follow Game of Thrones lore, is like Valyrian steel.
Yeah.
Dawn is not Valyrian steel. Dawn is just an ancient ancestral sword. This gigantic, enormous fuck all longsword.
Wow.
Wielded by House Dane. And the cool thing about Dawn is that it can't be wielded by just anybody. You have to prove yourself in combat to be worthy to take Dawn off the mantelpiece at House Dane.
But his friends call him Donnie.
It really just
Dawn,
sounds like
please. So yeah, you have to be a worthy heir to wield House Dane, or it'll sit up on the mantelpiece.
that. Oh, okay.
And in Game of Thrones lore, if you follow the series, Sir Arthur Dane was the last worthy member of House Dane.
The Sword of the Dawn.
The sword of the morning. Yes.
Sword of the Morning.
And who are the
Sorry.
who are the Danes in the?
So
where's their allegiance?
Later on in the series, there's a scene where Ned Stark and Mira's father, Howland Reed, go to find Ned Stark's sister.
Right.
And she's being guarded by the Targaryen forces, headed like a handful of Targaryen
The
soldiers.
Tower of Joy.
The Tower of Joy,
Yeah.
headed of course by Sir Arthur Dane, the Sword of the Morning.
Oh.
Which is why, without spoiling anything about that show, that scene is like
One of the best in the series.
one of the best in the series
Really
because
is.
Bronn realizes something about what he's been, about his father and what he's been told to be
Bran.
the truth this whole time. Yeah. Bran, excuse me. So he's learning that a story that he's been told over and over again as a piece of like folk legend is not the way that it happened.
Imagine Broad of the Blackwater being the three-eyed raven.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can only imagine what kind of whoring and drinking he could put that talent to.
I know you're not going to pay me, Lannister. I'm all omnipotent and shit now.
Floats. Just gets up and floats.
Drink-
Yeah, and
He's
he
holding
goes
a
like
kitty.
this and goes like, "Ooh."
I'm magic.
No, yeah.
Magic, you cunt.
So Sir Arthur Dane, and there's lots of lore backstories about Sir Arthur Dane about how he was able to, wield that sword and why he was so good.
Okay.
And there's if you watch,
Is he holding that sword in the?
oh yeah, he fights with two swords at one point, but one of them is most definitely Dawn, unmistakably.
No shit.
It's this enormous, gigantic longsword with a big sunrise on the
Oh, that's cool.
on the hilt.
I need to
basically.
watch that again.
It's really fucking cool. Yeah, and it's one of the best fights in the show.
Yeah.
In a show full of really great fights. It's gonna make a lot of fighters really happy.
A lot of people fighting. Pretty great.
Pretty great, yeah. But I always thought it was cool. It was like in a story where stuff like that is passed down by the generation. Whether you're a fucking moron or an idiot or not,
Right.
This is the one thing that you have to fucking earn.
That's cool.
Which is why he was such a cool little side character there.
Yeah.
And Ned Stark, if you watch any of the lore pieces in the background, Ned Stark basically comments about how he said he was the best sword fighter he'd ever seen. And after the war, he Sir Arthur Dane dies. Spoiler alert! It's kind of like a small part.
Right.
But he in the lore pieces, he says he goes back to House Dane and gives them the sword back as an act of respect, so the family can keep their sword.
No shit.
Yeah, super cool.
This is a lot of the deep sort of lore that you would not get without exploring around the edges.
I went
right?
way far into the lore of that show.
Well, a lot of people did, especially during that last break of like 2 years waiting for the show to come back.
It really enriches your understanding of what's happening, which is why the last 2 seasons piss me off so much.
It's so infuriating.
Because I spent so much time getting invested in it.
Yeah. I really feel like the way that it all ended cheapened so much of what was built into that show.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine that George R.R. Martin is happy, and no wonder he's not writing anything right now.
Yeah, right.
Probably feels like he fucked up.
He didn't fuck up.
Well, he probably feels like he did.
All the best seasons of that show were the ones that he had a hand in.
Right, but then that also means that like the larger culture's appreciation of his work is always going to be tied to these interpretations of how it ends.
Sure. But I think enough people recognize that it's not what he wanted.
I think that's true.
I really hope
I think a lot of all the comments I've seen, everybody can draw a clear line between when the show writers took over and what was his original work.
I really feel like it's just the last season. Am I wrong? I mean,
last two.
So the last season,
The last 13 episodes.
the last season included this Tower of Joy scene as part of the second to last season, right?
I think it's the season before that.
Maybe it is.
No.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, the Tower of Joy thing.
I'm pretty sure it's season 6.
No, shit. Okay, it doesn't matter. I can figure this out some other time.
Hold on.
So what about favorite sci-fi weapon?
Oh my god, that's harder to answer.
I know,
I
right?
like them a lot more. I mean,
I know, right?
Sci-fi weaponry is so fucking cool.
Like obviously the lightsaber is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And if you do a deep dive into like extended universe lore, which
Season 6.
Disney decanonized, sadly.
Yeah. That hurts.
But I don't give a shit. I think I explained that when I was talking about how Boba Fett is the stupidest person in the room.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they have to reprimand him specially.
He had no disintegrations.
Yeah, because he's such a fuck up. They have to tell him specifically.
But in extended universe lore, there's a lot of stuff involving like, the fact that Count Dooku has like a curved hilt for his lightsaber is so that he can like do a fencing style more easily.
Okay.
Obi-Wan favors Shi-Cho, which is a more defensive stance.
Yes.
Okay.
There's all sorts of like, actual like lightsaber techniques and applications and obviously the introduction of the double-bladed lightsaber, the introduction of the the two little ones that come out of Kylo Ren's lightsaber. All of these different variations, make it really, really special. And so like in Knights of the Old Republic, when you finally, after all of the Jedi training, you finally get your lightsaber. It feels really powerful. Now you can do you can have a lightsaber in each hand. You can have a double-bladed one. You can go old school and rock the single blade. It's so cool.
Yeah, what a great weapon. And a weapon that inherently lends itself to personality and variation and we'll never stop seeing cool new ways to deploy a lightsaber.
Right. Personality in particular. This was one of the things that Plinkett likes to talk about in the original trilogy reviews is that, the lightsaber isn't like a flashy show-off thing. It's supposed to express something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be an expression
It's an extension of you.
Right.
Which also makes like everything you do with it more personal.
It's a representation of the conflict going on between yourself and another character.
Yeah.
Yeah, which inherently makes it pretty cool.
And like the sound design and the just the physical visual design behind
Yeah,
it.
nothing else sounds like a lightsaber. It's
Right.
like that boom in your head is like the only thing that sounds like that.
Yeah, they had to. If I remember right, they had to do a bunch of different takes in episode 1 whenever Ewan McGregor had his lightsaber because he couldn't stop making the noises with his mouth.
Yeah.
I believe that.
That's crazy.
That's how deep that is in our collective consciousness that you can't swing without going.
Yeah.
So fucking cool.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what the most satisfying weapons in video games maybe are.
The BFG is a good one.
Oh, the BFG.
Yeah,
No matter
BFG 's
its incarnation.
great. Yeah. BFG always rules.
There was a game I used to play very briefly, a real-time strategy game called Sins of a Solar Empire.
Okay.
One of the playable empires you could control had I think it was called a planet buster or something, but it was a giant missile visible from space
Yeah.
that you could see traveling on an arc to an enemy planet, and when it impacted, it leaves a crater permanently on the surface of that world.
That's cool.
And you can build multiples of them to completely eradicate the planet's population or like get close.
Sounds fun.
Like a few thousand people left on the
Oh my
planet.
God.
Can I tell you one of my favorite video game weapons of all is the freaking chainsaw gun from
Gears of War?
Oh, God, it's so perfect.
It's so much fun.
That's a design. Cliffy B takes credit for that, by the way.
Yeah. Do you think he's telling the truth?
I do think he's telling the truth because even though he is kind of like a pompous weirdo,
Yes.
I think he understands at its core what gamers want to do.
The man who put a chainsaw on a gun, it has to.
Right.
Because that's the fucking shit.
That's absolutely ridiculous.
The idea that you're running at something and you're already going.
Yeah, right.
You like can't wait to get to your
Yeah.
For
target.
all its faults, Gears of War had a lot of really cool.
Tons of cool weaponry.
Getting one of those in multiplayer, getting a chainsaw kill in multiplayer was the most satisfying fucking thing ever.
Well, because also the person you're chainsawing is there like
literally any kind
they're
of
stunned and their
Yeah.
arms
put
are
a boot in their chest and push them off of your chainsaw.
so
Yeah.
fucking fun.
That's one of the coolest parts about the new Modern Warfare too. Is if you come up behind someone and hold the melee button, you'll do like an execution sequence
Yeah.
and just like fucking. It's really cool.
Those weapons and gears were really, really cool. I also really loved the Hammer of Dawn.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the first time I used that.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you
It was,
remember?
well, the first time I used it, we were playing. Me and a friend of mine. I just gotten a brand new Xbox. I got Gears of War, and I can't remember what else I got. But we were playing it co-op, and the co-op mode doesn't give you button prompts or explain what these things do.
Yeah,
So
right.
so like we're like what is this thing? And I'm like no wait, I have an idea. Point it at those guys, and he does, and fucking the orbital laser comes down.
So fucking cool.
In story mode, the first usable application is when the Berserker comes out for the first time.
Yeah.
If you remember. It's a
if I
scene.
remember.
So the Berserkers are just basically gigantic locusts that females, if I remember correctly, that they keep on chains because they're big and massive and big snarling gigantic beast things. They're also blind, so they can't see anything.
Oh yeah.
And they go by sound
Right.
and smell.
Yeah, right.
Or sound, basically.
Yeah.
So you have to use the Hammer of Dawn to basically shell a berserker at the beginning. And it's one of the most oh fuck moments of gaming
right.
that I've ever experienced. Because the berserker, you're basically in this abandoned library or something, if I remember correctly.
I remember that
And the
now.
berserker bursts
Yeah.
through, and the
Yeah.
trick, you have to like get your Hammer of Dawn
Yeah.
and then run through the library through
Yes.
several layers of it, and then get out into the sunlight where you can use the hammer.
Yeah, because you got to have a view from the sky.
Yeah,
Right.
so you basically have to trick the berserker into following you and smashing through several barricaded doors so
Yeah.
you can advance to the
cool.
outside. Yeah.
Unreal 2004 has a very similar weapon called the Target Painter,
what a
which
great
is
gun. I love
a
that game.
substitute for the Redeemer, which
Yeah.
is a remote-controlled mini nuke.
Halo Reach had that thing too. The what you call it?
The Spartan laser?
No,
Or
there's
There's another thing
the
just
track,
like it.
the orbital something or other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing, just like what a great idea though. For
Yeah.
I mean, like every game should have where I can point at a bunch of guys and then they just get shelled to death.
Right.
In CNC Generals in 0 Hour, there's the USA, China, and the GLA, which are just generic Middle Eastern terrorists.
Okay.
And you get to choose which general you play in multiplayer.
Okay.
And one of the generals for the US is US Laser General. And like the ultimate move you unlock after you build the laser dish is an orbital laser that follows your mouse. With a little bit of delay. You can't just zip your mouse all over the enemy base.
It's basically spray the map.
You basically just like trace a path for this laser to follow.
Yeah.
And it just like
Burns
really fun.
You brought up Halo earlier. I think we'd be remiss if we didn't mention the Needler. Do you remember the first time you used
I remember
Yeah.
the Needler?
the Needler in Combat Evolved?
An unforgettable experience. Nothing before it ever existed like it that I remember.
Yeah. Okay, so people, if you don't know what a Needler is, I don't
We're
know
very
what to tell
different
you.
people.
Where have you
Right.
fucking been?
Yeah, it's just a gun that shoots little pink spiky plasma needles that stick in your target, and when enough of them group up, they explode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They always explode, but when enough of them are there, they generate an explosion.
An
big enough to,
enormous
like-
explosion. Yeah, I would say they all.
The explosion is more powerful the more of them are present.
Right.
Yeah. All of the original Halo's weaponry was really, really good.
Yeah, really, really good. The Magnum, which I still maintain is the best video game weapon ever. The original
really is.
The original Combat Evolved Magnum.
Halo's pistol felt right, targeted right, had the perfect sound.
Yep.
And it kicked ass.
Yeah.
It was in so many first-person shooters. When you're down to the pistol, you feel like you're in trouble.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone has ever talked about this, but it's like Halo was the first-person shooter that I played where it's like when I have
almost-
just the pistol, I'm like, I'm good.
I'm good. Right.
Yeah.
No, because you could use it across the map. It had a zoom on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then interesting, like the thing is, you could never lose the pistol if I remember correctly. It just felt like you never.
Well, no, you can swap it out for another secondary weapon.
Yeah,
You
you
can swap it out
first
for
Halo?
another offhand
yeah.
weapon. Yeah, it's always been a two
one
weapon
and two.
system.
Yeah, one and two.
It just felt like I always had it.
So you
Maybe
could-
I never dropped it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, why
wrong
would
with
you?
Halo has a lot of great weapons.
I know.
Like their human weapons are really solid. The shotgun feels
Yeah.
particularly good to unload. into
Halo
somebody.
3's battle rifle is
the
fantastic.
battle
I
rifle.
think
is
it's
impeccable.
really sad what happened to the Covenant weapons by the time
Yeah,
Reach
they
came
kind of
around.
degraded. The only, the carbine is great in Halo 2.
yeah.
Yeah, they did kind of nerf a lot of those. Reach had a lot of balance issues, I
Yeah.
think,
I
unfortunately.
think between 2 and 3, between Halo 1 through Halo 3,
Yeah.
all of those weapons felt meaningful.
two especially was kind of like
Right.
the sweet spot, I think.
Absolutely. Are we gonna have a day where we don't do Sunday screening and we have Energy Sword Sunday?
Energy
instead?
Sword Sunday. I fucking love it. Oh my god,
I'm
how
with
cool was that? The first time you got to, because I remember even like when I was 11 years old, it's like, oh man, this game is awesome, but I want to pick up that sword.
I was there to see Aubrey's first outing with the Energy Sword,
yeah.
and
Hell yeah.
it was
is
great.
so fucking exciting, isn't it?
so
Everyone
good.
loves it the first time they pick it up.
Yeah, well, and like for a lot of people, it was the campaign, the campaign mission where you get to play as the Arbiter for the first time.
Yeah.
They give you a plasma rifle and the energy sword, and you spawn with the sword. And it's like, oh, they're showing you that you can use this now. You know what I mean?
He's
Like,
a my elite arbiter.
their
also-
lives matter to me, yours does not.
Yeah.
They introduced the gravity hammer in Halo 2 as well, right?
Halo 3 was the gravity hammer.
Oh, really?
Because inevitably when everybody played through the campaign of Halo 2, they had the sword, and then you get
New
to the
weapon
last
we want.
spoiler alert for this game, it's like 15 years old. You get to the end of Halo 2 and you get to fight Tartarus, and he has a gravity hammer.
Yeah.
And you're like, that's really cool. I want to play with that. So they're like, all right. And they
do it again.
They made one for Halo 3. So you get to
Yeah.
use the gravity hammer whenever you kill a chieftain.
Where I fall off is I didn't really play a lot of Halo 4. I didn't finish it.
You know, that's
I never played it in my life.
and it had all these
Not
cool
once.
Forerunner weapons,
Yeah.
but I just don't know. I didn't play any multiplayer, so I have no idea how those worked in practice.
the beam rifle is really useful in Halo 4's multiplayer, which I think is a like not to its credit.
Yeah.
Because you went from Halo 3 where it was all about BRs, dude,
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and the BR just feels right.
The BR
for
is
a
the
competitive shooter.
the essential weapon for Halo 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super, super good. And even then, the BR in Halo 3 is a downgrade from the BR in Halo 2. Because the BR in Halo 2 was tracked on hit to scan.
Oh, really?
So you could put that thing
And that 3-round burst would hit
That
as
3-round
long
burst.
as you hit the first shot.
correct. So if you did Halo 3, you kind of had to lead it a little, which made it a little more challenging.
Gotcha.
They also slowed the fire rate down like a fraction in Halo 3, which made it a little bit more strategic, but I think in a real fast-paced game was almost to its detriment. But still, like, close enough that the every other fucking thing that they did with the battle rifle didn't feel right.
Yeah.
After that,
It's interesting now that we're talking about this. I realize how Halo 2 really just kind of blended into the like. Not that I don't remember playing Halo 2, but it's not as noteworthy to me as the experience of playing the first one or playing the third
a
one.
lot of people played 2. Everybody played 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And everybody's experience with Halo 1 was like on a couch with somebody, so that's going to be a little bit more near and dear to you.
Always fond memories of. I mean, I remember I had a little switch box that I'd bought, like a little Netgear switch box,
Yeah.
specifically for LAN parties.
Oh, dude.
And then that had an uplink to attach to another switch box, which so we would basically get as many Xboxes in as we could. We had at my buddy Eric's place. We had cables all over their house.
Yeah.
His family would come home, and it's like, oh, okay, there's just Ethernet all over the goddamn kitchen.
Yeah, right. We used to play every day at, you remember Tweak?
Yeah.
We used to play at Tweak's basement every day after school, like on Fridays.
Yeah.
We'd come home on Fridays, and there's be like 8 of us.
Yeah.
And we'd sit down around 2 tiny box TVs.
Oh God,
And fucking-
crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. And just sit there and play. Everybody brought their own controller, and we
Yeah.
always had 2 Xboxes there, and it just like we would play for like hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hours and hours
Oh,
and
yeah.
hours.
At this point, can you even? I can't even believe we played split screen.
I know.
Because the minute that we didn't have to, I was like, I will never do this again.
Right. Right.
Let's talk about the ultimate video game weapon, the slapper from GoldenEye.
Okay, the slapper was great but terrible. It was very
it's awful.
It was very difficult to execute,
Yeah.
but it had its own kind of strategy. You're trying to like lean out, lean in. You try to get out
Yeah,
of the
right.
way.
You have to sway it
Yeah.
up.
4-player GoldenEye slapper matches be like da 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 da.
Yeah, one hit kill slappers only.
Yeah.
God, that was crazy. Do you remember the Klob from that game?
I do.
It was like,
Yeah.
like submachine gun. That was named after a guy named Ken Lobb. It was actually
Yeah,
a guy that
because
developed the game.
they didn't use the actual names of the guns,
which is why you have the PP7.
Yeah, the
KF-7
PPK.
Soviet, which is clearly an AK-47.
Right.
The Walther PP7.
The
PP.
Speaking of Soviet weapons, you know what's called the AK-47?
Kalashnikov 47?
Yeah, well, yeah, it's an abbreviation for Avtomat Kalashnikova. Kalashnikov's automatic. 47 is the year it was invented.
No shit.
The Soviets did that for all like weapon inventions. They
Credited it.
they credit it. They didn't pay the guy obviously
No.
because it's property of the state.
Yeah, right.
But
Easily the most useful assault weapon ever made ever.
the secret is that it doesn't contain very many moving parts.
Yeah, right.
People in Afghanistan, especially during the Soviet invasion, would bury AKs in the sand, dig them up later, and they'd be in firing condition right after you
Yeah,
dug them
you
up.
could. Well, they said you could drag them through the mud. You could take them in the water.
They just don't jam.
They just don't jam, no matter what you do.
Right.
They're like impossible to break. Mix that with like the M16, which the Americans rolled out right before Vietnam. Real good idea there, guys. Which would jam if you farted sideways around it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like what a complete and total fuck up. You had the Viet Cong with a weapon that's basically indestructible in jungle environments, and then you send a bunch of forces in with guns that, like, if you squeeze the trigger the wrong way, it won't work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Here's a fun fact too. You know the RPG.
Yeah.
What we assume stands for rocket propelled grenade.
Right.
That's not what it stands for.
No way. I didn't know that.
It stands for Ruchnoi Protivotankovy Granatomyot. Ruchnoi Protivotankovy Granatomyot. which means handheld anti-tank grenade launcher in Russian.
No shit.
Yeah, Protivotankovy is anything anti-tank. Tank is just the Russian word for tank.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I didn't know that.
Yep, so that's actually what RPG stands for. Same thing with the Dragonov, SVD, Sniperskaya Vintovka Dragonova, Dragonov's sniper's rifle.
Huh.
They're
The more you know.
well, I guess apparently except for the RPG, they're named after their creators.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Soviet weapons are usually pretty self-descriptive.
And they work.
And they work.
Small miracle.
Can I talk about another awesome weapon?
Yes.
Command and Conquer's Tesla coil.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Especially as utilized in Red Alert. I don't know why, but something about the animation itself and these little dudes that just go all wiggly and then turn to dust.
Yeah.
What a cool defensive weapon. Like, who doesn't want to obliterate their enemies with electricity?
There was,
It's still part of the series, too, right? I mean, I don't think they ever did away with the Tesla coil. It was too cool.
I don't think they ever did away with it, no. Excuse me. Did you guys ever play Painkiller?
No.
Yes. Long time ago.
Painkiller had some real fucking bizarre weapons, and you could actually mix and match their primary and secondary fires, which was really neat. One of the most absurd being a gun that shoots shurikens as its primary fire and lightning as its secondary fire.
That's great.
There was one that fires... What was it? It fires stakes, wooden stakes, as its primary fire, as like a long-distance sniper thing, and then... God, I can't remember what its secondary fire was. It might have been something like flame-based. Like, Painkiller's weapons were fucking ridiculous.
Men only want one thing, and it's fucking disgusting. A gun that shoots shurikens.
And lightning. You ever see that Punisher panel where it's the... Like, there's ninjas sneaking up on him. It's the guy telling Punisher, it's a gun, Frank. A gun that shoots swords. And then very next frame is of him, like, firing, like, bunches of tiny swords out of this gun.
Why the fuck not?
Why not?
What about the Wabbajack? Do you guys remember the Wabbajack?
Oh, I sure do remember
Aubrey's
the
pointing
Wabbajack.
at me.
I don't know
the Wabbajack.
I don't know what that is.
So in every Elder Scrolls game, every Elder Scrolls game from Arena onward,
Yeah.
you get to meet the Daedric Prince of Madness, Sheogorath.
Oh, right. Is he the one that has the tea party in the...
Yes, in Skyrim. Yeah.
Emperor Pelagius the Third.
I love you so much I can just rip out your entrails and strangle you to death with them.
What a great character.
Yeah. The entire focus of the Shivering Isles expansion of Oblivion.
Yeah. It's literally he's literally just a guy who he became a god, and he's the god of insanity, basically.
Great character.
So
Super
the
fun.
Wabbajack is what Sheogorath wields, and it's actually what you get as a gift from him when you complete his quests. And it's an ancient Daedric staff that, when pointed at somebody, will have one of an enormous number of effects on that person.
Oh, okay. So
Some of them are...
It's a wand of random.
It's a wand of randomness, basically.
Yeah.
So you point this staff at somebody, and it might instantly kill them. It might turn them into a chicken. It might turn them into a Daedric fighter that is even harder than
or a fucking bear.
Yeah, or a bear. Right, exactly. Yeah, it'll turn them into an ice bear or something.
Yeah.
So when you fire this thing at them, you don't know what's going to happen. Sometimes it's to your benefit. Sometimes it's not to your benefit.
Do you get that in Skyrim?
You do.
I don't remember that happening
when
for
you
some
do
reason.
Sheogorath's quest.
Oh, yeah.
you-
Sheogorath's quest comes up in Solitude, I believe.
Yes. Yeah, you go to this abandoned house, and you just immediately, like...
Yeah, there's a guy who comes up to you and is clearly insane, and
Yes.
that's what starts the...
You can always tell Sheogorath's quest, because...
Yeah, because it's the best one.
I'm trying to remember...
I remember doing something. I
What
just
was
don't remember
his
the Wabbajack.
quest in Vanilla? Oh, I remember what his quest was in Vanilla Oblivion. You go to the very southernmost point of the map at this place that's on that borders with Blackmarsh, which is the Argonian country, and it's the small city of Argonians, like right on the edge of Cyrodiil and Blackmarsh.
Yeah, yeah.
And they follow a lot of old customs. and they worship a lot of old gods. And Sheogorath wants to play a trick on this community and make them think that a sign of their what's known as their rapture,
Oh God.
will happen. So you have to first unleash. You have to kill all the livestock first of all. Stealthily kill all the livestock. So the first thing is like a famine, and then the next thing is a plague. So you have to steal this prized cheese wheel from a neighboring community that's like this horribly funky, stinky cheese.
I remember this.
And you have to set it out in the streets so that a horde of rats will come through.
Of course.
And then Sheogorath tells you the final thing I'll take care of. And the last sign of the rapture from these people's gods. Ooh,
Sorry, guys.
Jesus.
Ooh, ouch.
Ow.
The last sign of the rapture from these people's gods. The game locks you and stands you in place, and the skies turn red and open up, and flaming puppies rain from the sky and start smashing down all around you. And of course, all the townspeople run away, going, "It's the rapture!" And they like just scatter off into the woods. And Sheogorath gives you the Wabbajack as a gift.
And probably has a really good laugh too.
Yeah, right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
He's always a mad Scottish person.
yes.
It's a great idea.
No, Irish. Some kind of Celtic.
Yeah, there's a lot of very Scottish stuff in there.
There's not a lot of. I suspect the person who does his voice is not native.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
They've entered the hall of the mind of the emperor.
Pelagius the Third.
If I remember correctly, you're having the tea party and the emperor is there and he's asleep at the edge of the tea party.
Yeah, he's in his bed having night terrors,
That's
and you
it.
have to beat his night terrors by firing the Wabbajack at them.
God, what a strange thing that is.
There's one part in that mission where you have to there's a fighting pit going on and it's two different Emperor Pelagiuses. And you have to use
Pelagii, please.
And you have to use the Wabbajack to influence the battle one way or another. And the trick isn't you. I remember I spent way too fucking long on this. You're trying to change the fighters to make one best to the other, and the trick is you have to fire the Wabbajack at one of the guys on the opposite end, or you have to fire the Wabbajack at him. Basically, it's two like random creatures in a pit, and then Emperor Pelagius watching them. And the trick is you have to turn him into something to beat the. I remember the first time I did it, I'm like, motherfucker, because I spent like 15 minutes like, what do I do?
These secret tests where there's an alternate solution.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you guys get around to playing Witcher 3, excuse me, you will become obsessed with like the quality and durability of your swords. They do a lot of really in-depth stuff to make you really care about your weaponry. There's a side quest in one of the expansions, Blood and Wine, where you can get a sword that appears in the previous two games called Erendite. Okay. It's a silver sword, and if you get it, the mythical being that gives it to you tells you to not lose it this time.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But what it does in the third game is oh God, what is it? It builds up charge the more consecutive attacks you get without getting hit. And if you kill an enemy with a full charge of Erendite, it permanently increases Erendite's damage.
Ooh.
So it is the silver sword to end all silver swords for the game.
That's badass.
Considering that Blood and Wine is the second of two expansions that are available.
Yeah.
It is meant to be like, this is the sword you should be using for the remainder of the game. But you gotta know how to complete the side quest, and it requires paying attention to the story.
Nice. I like the idea of a weapon that continuously increases its overall effectiveness.
Yeah, they did it so you won't have to hunt for any more silver swords.
Yeah, right.
Because you will go through so many weapons in Witcher 3.
Oh, really?
Not all of them necessarily swords either. You can wield, you can beat people up with a shovel if you fucking want.
I do.
But obviously the swords are going to be a lot more effective.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know where else to go with the weapon discussion.
We talked a lot about fantasy stuff, didn't we? What about like real world stuff?
Like actual like weapons. How about really untraditional weapons, maybe?
Untraditional weapons?
Yeah, see, I don't have a lot of experience with real world weapons.
Yeah.
I own a katana that I got at the medieval fair, so its effectiveness is questionable.
I have the master sword.
I know it will. I know it will chop into your meat for sure, but it's it's not like fucking Muramasa.
Yeah.
Hey, don't chop my meat, bro.
I always thought I would want to have like a bolt. I want a bolt action rifle.
Yeah.
Just because I know they're like cumbersome, and everybody who knows guns is like, no, why would you do that? But like,
except that they have the most satisfying mechanism.
Exactly. That purely for that reason.
They had a deactivated bolt action rifle as a prop at the Youngstown Playhouse one time when I was there, helping clean up.
Yeah.
Yeah. They feel good.
I just like picked it up and just like, played with the bolt action a bit and just like,
it feels good.
It's natural.
You can tell
it's a very natural movement.
Actually,
somehow.
Tyler taught me this. You have a good one, and one that's in good functional condition when the bolt is nice and loose. Because there's nothing worse than one that sticks when you're trying to chamber around.
Right, you shouldn't have to force the breech open.
It needs to be nice and smooth when you do that. And I always wanted like a Mosin Nagant?
Mosin Nagant, yeah.
The Moist Nugget, as it's nicknamed by gun enthusiasts. Because it's kind of like cumbersome and, but like scarily accurate at range.
That was the trademark infantry rifle for Russian soldiers. Probably like just after the revolution up through World War II.
Yeah.
And then when automatic weapons started catching on, they started going over to the Kalashnikovs.
It's a little slow from what I understand. And it wasn't without its problems, but it was pretty reliable. And scarily accurate, at short to mid range.
It was my weapon of choice in Call of Duty too.
Yes, mine too, actually. So it's not you're not really going to be able to reach out and touch someone unless you scope it. But like if you're just using it with the regular iron sights, like they said, it's like it'll do pretty much exactly what you tell it to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? at a mid range, and it's just I don't know. There's something really satisfying to me about the bolt action thing. I've always.
After 20 years of existence, Counter-Strike 21 this year.
Wow.
Excuse me. Counter-Strike's most game-changing weapon is still the AWP. Bolt action sniper rifle, the AWP. There is something just really cool about releasing the cartridge every
something that you have to do the way it's like
and obviously you don't want to spend a whole lot of energy on it. So
I think it's kind of like the difference between like reliable coffee that's pre-ground that you can go with all the time, it just does what it does, and the satisfaction of grinding your own beans.
Yeah,
sure. It's like a task you do with love.
Sure,
you pop the thing and you want to experience every part of that. I think it's like it's a labor of love.
So think about this: when Betty Crocker came out with cake mix initially,
they
had everything you needed in the cake mix, and all you had to do was add water, and basically bake your cake, And they found that they weren't selling well, and what did it was making consumers crack an egg into the mixture. They used to just have the binder in the mix to make it easier for people, and people weren't. So people wanted to feel like they were doing something, so they made you crack an egg into the Betty Crocker. So that's why you have to do that.
Which is a brilliant marketing insight.
Really, really smart.
Like whoever figured that out, really, because that's counterintuitive,
right?
If you're a marketer, your whole job
is to make it easier,
make things easier for people, solve their problems, make them do less work.
So you have to manually crack your binder into every box of Betty Crocker. It's for that reason that things like pump action shotguns or bolt action rifles or the I don't know what it's called, the old, I'm gonna call it the old Western style.
Okay.
Like the I don't know what they're called.
You mean like the pump action thing or the lever action?
The lever action.
Yeah,
the lever action rifles.
Yeah.
Or like repeating rifles.
I got that lever action rabbit.
You do, yeah.
Rabbit
you had a 22 up there, right? Yeah. They're fucking cool. It makes you feel like you're doing something. So, I don't know.
God,
that's the kind of stuff I like.
It's the tactile experience of it. Like, I kind of feel like the guy who's concerned with firing the most bullets, the quickest and easiest, is the guy I'm worried about.
Right.
But there's a lot of there's a lot of reasons to And the tactile experience of doing stuff like that
it's doing stuff
is
manually.
much more
Feels
about
right.
loving doing that.
Yeah, right, exactly. Well, that's what I mean. Like, I like guns. I'm into guns. I don't really own any anymore.
Yeah.
You know, but
I don't intend to buy more. I just have
Yeah.
ones that I have because I just have them.
you have them, right? But yeah, I'm into it. So like, that's the kind of stuff I like because I'm into. Like, I don't intend on like.
Yeah.
I don't intend on using it. You know what I mean, in public. Like, I want to have it because I like guns. So
Yeah.
that's the kind of stuff that I'm into. Is stuff that you feel like you're doing something useful while you're using it.
The design aesthetic of guns, like especially like just like a standard handgun.
Yeah.
The design aesthetic of that, like metal grit,
Yep.
the hatchwork, you know, and bars along things. There's just like a way that guns look that is cool. In the same way, and this is maybe a horrible analogy, but just bear with me. It's like the Nazi uniforms just looked cool.
They look good. Yeah, the Nazi uniforms are
looked cool.
objectively the best looking military uniforms, especially like the dress blacks that the officers wore.
Yeah, right.
They just look right.
The thing is, like, so you don't have to love guns to love the look of guns.
Oh, absolutely. They're sexy they're sexy. They're murdering Barbies, dude. That's what they
Sexy Barbie.
sexy Barbies.
Sexy Barbie.
No, they're
Barbie.
they're murder. God damn.
Sexy murder Barbie.
They're murder Barbies. If you're into guns for the sake of being into guns,
I completely get what you're saying.
they're just murder Barbies.
I
so.
completely understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's grown up collectible toys.
Yeah, exactly.
That kill people.
Right. Yeah, man, whatever.
Some of them really well.
I can't find the thing I was going to show you. It was it's like a visual representation of what it would have looked like for the longest sniper shot that's been recorded in history, but it's been broken since I last looked this up. Check this fucking shit out. So when I last looked it up, it was COH Craig Harrison.
Okay.
Who wait, maybe it's no, I can't find it in here either. Who confirmed killed a target. This was COH, Corporal of Horse, which is a Canadian rank.
I was gonna say what?
Craig Harrison in November 2009 landed a fatal shot at 2,475 meters.
Oh my god! That's disgusting.
Which is just over 2,700 yards.
Oh my god!
The current record.
That's 1.3 miles. Do I have that right?
My god!
That sounds about right.
That's crazy.
Well, wait. Well, how about this? The current record is held by an unnamed Joint Task Force 2 sniper. Obviously named withheld because he's probably still active.
Sure.
May 2017, 3,000.
Oh my god.
871 yards.
Oh my god.
How far is that? What is that in units that makes sense to my brain?
Hold on. I'm gonna.
3,871 yards.
Yeah, or 3,540 meters.
3,875
That's like
yards.
almost 2 miles.
71 yards.
2.2 miles.
Oh my god!
A 2.2 mile
Oh my
sniper
god.
shot.
How do you even see that? I honestly don't understand.
Well, here's what's even crazier. At that
Wow.
at that distance, you have to account for wind, the natural drop of gravity, and the rotation of the earth underneath the bullet.
That's ridiculous.
This is why snipers have spotters who do all the fucking math.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Right. Oh my god, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's nuts. Dude, I don't even know how you.
An over 2 mile sniper shot. The desert is mostly empty, as it turns out.
Yes.
So you can hit these shots if you try hard enough and you're enough of a hard ass.
Yeah. Wow, that's crazy though.
So while I was looking up the previous record, who's now in 4th place, Rob Furlong, who is also a Canadian sniper, I discovered.
Great name for a sniper, by the way.
Right.
Great name for a sniper.
Furlong.
I discovered that he entered the Canadian some municipal police force in Canada after his tour, and was discharged for beating up and urinating on a fellow officer. So there's that.
Well,
You don't need
I'm guessing-
you don't need as good aim for that.
I'm guessing if you went so far as to beat somebody up and then piss on them,
Yeah.
that guy probably deserved it.
I
that's a good guess. That's a fair guess.
I don't know.
For the
I don't
most
know.
part, beating someone up is usually enough. If you piss on them, they really stepped in it.
Yeah.
or
He was just drunk enough
he
to
was
do
just
that.
drunk and abusive. Yeah.
That's true. That's possible.
So anyway, I think we're coming up on probably time here. We're
Yeah.
at like an hour 50.
You have to pee really, really bad.
I have to pee. I'm doing the pee dance.
Okay.
So we're gonna we're gonna call this topic here. I hope you guys liked weapons.
Yeah.
I did. This went all over the place,
That was
and
a good
I'm
one.
okay
That's
with that.
That's this is weapons are always cool to talk about.
Yeah.
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 So when we come back, we'll do our recommendations and what we learned, and
And then end the fucking show.
We'll do
probably.
the damn thing. We'll just stop doing this forever.
GTFO. Yeah. All right. Be right back.
Oh no! Oh god, Dave, what are you doing? No, please, no. And we're back.
We're back.
We are back. I think this has been an interesting and wild topic.
It's been an interesting and wild topic.
That's true.
And I hope it was entertaining for you folks out in the audience. And I hope that after some positive reaction to Buyer Beware, I hope that I can
I
make
love
this
it.
I can't wait to play that again.
make this a thing.
I wish we were playing it right now.
I'm already starting to think of new games to play in place of As Bad as It Gets, which I would like to repeat his name that way because it's as bad as this show has ever done.
It's basically the worst moments ever of the show.
Just compiled into one
right
thing
there.
that I happen to create. 'Cause I'm like not original at all, and stupid and fat.
I'm the father of shitty ideas.
But anyway, back to me.
Yeah.
No, but I'm gonna make these things. I'm gonna try and make these a bit harder for you. I had a limited amount of time to find these reviews.
I think you did really, really well for our first game. Something to let us like get our
get
sort
a-
of beak wet or whatever.
yeah.
It is.
Got her deek wet.
So I'm gonna. Yeah. So next time, hopefully, it'll be a little harder. But I.
know what I'm talking
I'm
about.
glad. I'm glad this has went over.
Yeah, it was
as well
good.
as it did.
It's a great idea.
So we're gonna move on to recommendations, starting with Dave. Do you have a recommendation for this week?
Shit, I did.
Chris, did you have a recommendation for this week?
I have two.
I hate when every time I'm asked something, it's just gone.
I know.
I write down your recommendation
gonna have
beforehand.
to.
Yeah.
I have
That's what I do.
two that I would like to recommend to you.
Okay.
Okie doke.
The first is to say that Hip Hop Evolution Season 4 has just debuted very recently on Netflix, as in like in the last 3 days. We're recording this on the 20th?
21st.
21st, excuse me, January 21st, which means you guys are going to get it a week later. But within a couple days of today, Hip Hop Evolution Season 4 has debuted. I've recommended it on this show before. I think a couple times as an auxiliary when like the third season came out. Watch it. It's really good. If you like hip hop music, it goes through every. I've said this before. It goes through every like area of hip hop music and then certain aspects of the genre and how it got to where it is today.
Right.
One of the episodes that I'm just starting this season is about producers, like famous hip hop producers who like solely built sounds based on production.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that I'm going to hear something from Jay Dilla somewhere in
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Dilla.
so check out Hip Hop Evolution Season 4. Just watch the whole thing. They're like little 40-minute episodes. There's 4 episodes to a season. It's really easy.
No, go ahead. Keep opening the.
No, go ahead.
Just
Honestly,
rip it off. Rip the lid off.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
No, you're not.
the second recommendation.
Fuck. Rip the.
I can't get it. There we go.
Oh my god. You just tear it off. It's cheap fucking plastic.
It's still making noises. I'm not even touching it. I'm sorry.
So your second recommendation.
My second. Oh God, you opened the can
I
of
know.
nuts.
We
That
have
was
to
so
keep
fucking
eating them.
good.
Oh, but good.
My second recommendation.
Is eat peanuts.
No.
They're fucking great.
Staying on Netflix, I want to recommend a Netflix original movie that came out a couple months ago, starring Eddie Murphy, called Dolomite Is My Name.
I want to see that.
You should watch it. As the name implies, Dolomite Is My Name is about Dolomite, or more particularly, comedian / actor Rudy Ray Moore, who got famous. Yeah, who got famous in the 1970s for his comedic character Dolomite, who's just basically a tough talking street pimp.
Yeah.
Based on all the old jive talk that he used to hear older guys in the neighborhood talk about, like dumb little stories to make people laugh, right?
Right.
So the character of Dolomite is based solely on that. And the story follows Rudy Ray Moore from a guy who's like left his hometown in the South to move out west and make something of himself. It's like a classic, you know what I mean? Classic tale. This one happens to be true. This guy comes out, he starts working like little low rent jobs. The big job that he eventually settles on is in a record shop, basically, where they broadcast out of the store. And it was supposed to be a job that he takes, you know, on his way, like as just something small that he does on his way to becoming famous. So by the time 1970 rolls around, Rudy's found himself certainly not famous, working at this dead end job. Rudy. And working part-time in a club as the comedian, like the host of the night, introducing the MC, basically introducing the bands that come up on stage and like telling his little jokes. He decides he needs to make a change, so he goes out and he sits on the street with like the local like homeless people, basically old homeless people, and he listens to all their old stories and adopts them into this character of Dolomite, which is an old jive story that he heard all the time when he was younger, and that, you know, all the old guys on the street tell. So, and he adopts this character and makes it his own and comes up with his own raps. And the cool thing about Dolomite is that years later, he's kind of identified as the godfather of hip hop, because he was putting out these comedy albums where he's rapping over top of music, telling jokes, basically telling stories, telling jokes.
Wow. That's a crazy origin.
Yeah,
story.
right. So he's considered the godfather of hip hop. Still mentioned today. You could find a hip hop record, at least one a year, a popular hip hop record where Dolomite is brought up at some point.
No shit.
And the reason he's brought up is because Rudy, after making some money doing his comedy, puts every last ounce of money and effort he has into making a film, basically.
The Dolomite movie.
The Dolomite movie, which if you haven't seen it, I would recommend watching that first. It's a cult classic. It's really funny. You'd love it. It's hilarious. It's 1970s blaxploitation at its best.
Wow.
Badass black pimp gets screwed over by Willie Green, who puts him in jail for something that he didn't do. The prison warden gives him a chance to get out and get his revenge. That's
a great premise right there.
Right. Awesome. 70s action, car chases, great music, and just silly, stupid kung fu stuff. It's awesome. Watch Dolomite. But in the movie, they basically talk about the entire, like, his whole comedy career and then the production of the movie and how he basically took, like, all his friends and risked every last ounce of his money on this stupid thing, on the bet that, as he puts it, that the same 5 blocks of people that are in his neighborhood who would pay a lot of money to go see the movie are in every major city in the country. There's that same 5 blocks.
Right.
A bet that paid off. He made, like, him and his production company made like 10 different movies.
No shit.
Yeah. And they were all like cult classic hits. So he made his money back and then some. And also Rudy Ray Moore, like at least the way Eddie Murphy portrays him, is like super endearing, super funny, super sweet.
Yeah.
And it's just a really fun watch. If you want to watch a movie and feel good about yourself from the beginning of the movie to the end of the movie, you should watch Dolomite Is My Name.
Gosh, that sounds great.
It is really good. Eddie Murphy's back in like a really funny role. You know what I mean? Snoop Dogg's in this movie too. He's got a bunch of cool guest stars. I don't know, man. It's just fun. It's nice to watch a movie and feel good, start to finish.
Hell yeah.
There's a lot of really, really funny stuff in this movie, as you would expect from something with Eddie Murphy in it.
Yeah.
Dolomite Is My Name, and Fucking Up Motherfuckers Is My Game. Watch it on Netflix.
Fucking Up Motherfuckers is my game.
as said by a fat white guy. Yeah.
I like it though.
Yeah, it's really good. It's a good watch, man.
I wanted to see that from the minute I saw the trailer. I knew I wanted to see that.
It's
movie.
really sweet, and really funny, and really endearing, and like I don't know, man.
Yeah.
You know, who doesn't want to like? Rudy Ray Moores was like a normal dumpy dude, right?
Yeah.
And he just got to like live his dream out. He had a shtick, and he rolled with it, and like up until he died in the 2000s, they were still doing stuff. Like they were still making movies and still doing his comedy, and like super endearing. So watch it; it's worth a watch, especially in a time where movies kind of have to be depressing. I think in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
The uplifting, positive, inspiring comedy is a. I don't know. There's not a lot of them.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Really sweet. Check it out.
Yeah, that's the other thing. What really is cynicism. There's not cynicism behind that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dave, did you remember what you were going to recommend?
I swear to God, I just did. I swear to God, I just did. This is going to kill me. Oh my God! Do you have something, Ben?
I do have something. If you want to ruminate on and when it enters your head, write it down.
I know.
TV, music, movie,
I don't know. Oh my
jerk
God.
off technique. Did like the two-handed sandwich rub. One on the top.
The two-handed sandwich rub.
I don't know.
The old classic.
No, I just made that up. It's not that I've tried.
So anyway.
Oh God, I had it. I'm really sorry. I'm really
All
sorry.
right. Well, if you get it again, write it down. So you got it.
Fucking hello, season 4. Thank you.
I am going to recommend that people watch the Super Bowl this year
Yes.
because
Why on earth would you do that?
We said we were not going to watch the
Because-
Super Bowl again this year, but we're going to do it because this one's going to be good.
it actually looks promising.
It's going to be good.
I know.
It's actually going to be good this year.
It really should be.
Finally, as you may already know, if you're one of the like 2 people in the world who didn't watch the Super Bowl, or 2 people in America who didn't watch the Super Bowl this past year, you missed the most epic punt fest of the decade.
The punts. I mean, they just kept coming.
The punts just kept on fucking coming.
Punt after punt.
The final score was pathetic. It just
Yeah.
like fucking Donald Trump's penis level of pathetic.
It was the single least fun game of any professional sport I have ever watched in my adult life.
And I've watched soccer.
Yeah. But now,
Yeah.
you've got 2 pretty explosive offenses going up against one another.
Yes, the Battle of the Redmen.
And
2 different teams in red.
The Redmond.
yeah.
Who red's better?
And the fact that they both have reasonably competent defenses.
Yes.
You're going to see a lot more than what you would normally see in a Super Bowl involving, something like
Tom Brady,
Tom Brady.
Ben Roethlisberger.
This Super Bowl does not involve teams that have been to the Super Bowl in like the past decade.
Yes.
In fact, this is the first visit by the Chiefs to a Super Bowl in 50 years.
Super Bowl 3?
4.
Super Bowl 4.
Super Bowl 4,
So do I have that
where
right?
they played the New Orleans Saints.
Yes.
New Orleans.
The Niners haven't been in since Steve Young, am I right? Like,
Yeah,
do I have that like early 90s?
I believe so.
Yeah, that's awesome.
This is a big deal for football because parity is being introduced.
We gotta stop eating these peanuts.
I know.
I know.
I'm gonna put the lid on these
They're
peanuts.
so good.
It like in the NHL, like the Stanley Cup competitors are almost never the same. When the Penguins repeated Stanley Cups, that's pretty much unheard of.
Yeah.
In the NHL.
Yeah.
But we're talking about 2 teams that have not been to the Super Bowl in a long time.
Right.
And in this current era where certain teams are, I would say, favored more than others.
Gee, you don't say.
God, it's so nice for them not to be. It's so nice for the Patriots not to be in the Super Bowl.
Right. the Patriots or the Ravens or the Steelers.
Right.
None of them.
Any of the predictables.
None of them are in. It's the Chiefs and the Niners. These are two historic football teams that are going to
storied tradition.
Yes, that are going to put on a real hell of a show.
Yeah.
And I fully recommend that people watch it. Actually watch it this year.
I think it's worth noting too that of people who are very, very excited about this Super Bowl, John Boyce must be one.
Oh yeah, because he's
a Chiefs fan, a long-suffing Chiefs fan.
Yes.
And I feel like it's going to be real fun to watch him around this.
Me personally, I'm thinking the Chiefs win this.
I do too, just based on Pat Mahomes, the boy wonder.
Oh yeah,
just based on seeing how that offense runs. That is a well-oiled machine that does not make a lot of mistakes.
No, they do not.
It's going to be a high-scoring Super Bowl either way, but I think the Chiefs are going to ultimately put up more points.
I think so too. Don't count the Niners out too, because that's a team where they were asking really early in the season, is this team for real? And they're fucking for real, obviously.
Jimmy Garoppolo finally getting the chance to fucking prove himself, and
I'm really worried that the Chiefs aren't going to be able to slow down that running game. So we'll see. Because the defense has looked a little suspect when it comes to that, but they also have Pat Mahomes, who is easily the best quarterback of the new generation.
Yeah, this is what I'm excited about. Is both teams have really high performing offenses.
Oh yeah, it's going to be fun,
and it's going to be a really good match to watch.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm really excited for it.
So watch the Super Bowl. That's February 2nd, I believe.
Yep.
God, if you'd have told me last year,
I know
that we would be sitting here saying
excited about the Super Bowl. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, watch the Super Bowl and fuck the NCAA championship.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little ridiculous.
What? LSU won. I'm happy LSU won. Everybody wanted Joe Burrow to win. They went out and they went out and kicked some ass.
Sure, but there were a lot of really shitty calls in that game.
There were a lot of shitty calls in the playoff games too.
That was hard to watch at times.
It was very hard to watch.
it was abysmal.
Trying not to be frustrated, but I am happy LSU won because I don't think Ohio State would have beat LSU.
No, I was saying the same thing.
I don't think so.
Mostly out of grief, trying to assuage the grief.
Yeah, no, I don't think LSU. That's one of the most complete. I've been watching college football a long time. That was one of the most complete football teams I've ever seen. They were great.
Definitely.
Yeah, I'm super excited for the Super Bowl. I saw somebody. Actually, Alvin and I were at work. We saw somebody in a Ronnie Lott jersey. Like for the first set, Ronnie Lott was an old middle linebacker for the San Francisco 49ers in the late 70s and 80s.
Okay.
Okay, so Ronnie Lott is famous for breaking his finger in a playoff game. His pinky finger. Like when I say broken, I mean like fucking like broken.
Oh my God.
Like this way.
Yeah.
And rather than like go to the hospital and not compete in the game, legend has it that Ronnie Lott had the trainers cleave off his pinky finger and stitch it up and glove it up so he could go back out and play the rest of the game.
Oh my God.
A game that they lost, I might add. Whoa. So yeah, there's no real men left anymore. is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
There's no real psychos left anymore.
Right. Yeah, ruthless. Ronnie Lott, one of the greatest tacklers of all time. This dude had a jersey on. Like how long? I can't even think of the last time I've seen somebody in a Niners jersey here.
No,
So
you don't see that.
it's just not common. So it's nice to see like other fan bases are getting their fucking due for the first time in ages.
Yeah. Yeah, so definitely this season, watch the Super Bowl. It's probably going to be good.
Yeah, it seems like it will be.
I think it's going to be a real high-scoring affair. I think there's going to be a lot of explosive plays. I think there's just going to be a lot of excitement.
Dude, even if it's not, it's a game where we don't have the same three quarterbacks in rotation.
Right.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't have to look at Tom Brady's ugly mug kissing his father on the lips.
Right. Tom Brady paid.
Did he?
Oh, yeah, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Dad on the
it.
lips?
Yeah, last year. Last year when he
and the owner of the patch, Robert Kraft.
Yeah, he kissed Robert Kraft on the fucking lips.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Really?
Not good. So anyway,
That's weird.
So anyway, that's my recommendation. Watch the Super Bowl. Dave, did you remember your
I
recommendation?
did. It took me forever to do it.
It's
Yes. Sorry.
Silicon Valley.
Well, it's a recommendation that starts with a bit of sad news.
Oh.
Which is that something that you maybe never knew existed is dead now. Which is Dan Harmon's long-running podcast, Harmontown.
Oh.
They just decided to end the show at the end of last year. And in December, they did their 360th episode, which for them was super exciting because 360 degrees make a circle, and they liked that number.
Yeah, it's a good
round.
It's good.
Number.
Yeah.
So the show is over now, but I highly recommend listening to some of it because it was a really weird, chaotic kind of podcast. Like, I guess a lot of podcasts are really personal. You know,
Sure.
Like a lot of the, and it's kind of part of the appeal of podcasts is, you know, like the host, you know, becomes someone that you understand and feel like you know, and it's a little bit of an empathy exercise or whatever.
That doesn't make us your friends, by the way.
We're not your friends.
Unless you're our friends.
Yeah,
but-
well,
Unless you are actually our friends.
If you think you're our friends, you're probably not.
Anyway,
I have it down to like one hand, the actual friends that I have.
yeah, like probably,
like one hand.
Yeah.
Like I count them on one hand, and still have fingers left over.
Anyway, no, yeah. So the thing about the Harmontown podcast is that it started during like a pretty chaotic period of Dan Harmon's life. Just before or just after the incident with the Chevy Chase voicemail and getting fired from Community and all that shit.
I don't know that.
It's one of the things that got him in trouble early on, shortly after the voicemail thing happened, is that he played the voicemail just for his podcast audience.
What was the voicemail?
It was Chevy Chase's screaming, angry, yelling voicemail calling Dan Harmon unprofessional and all this shit and telling him he hoped he got fired and just Chevy Chase being Chevy Chase because he's like notoriously hard to work with.
Yeah.
Wow.
So basically that was like the beginning of this podcast. And over the course of 360 episodes, it was a lot of like therapy, like Dan Harmon doing this for therapy, making friends out of the audience. One person in particular being a guy named Spencer Crittenden, he was just an audience member, and by episode 5, they started just having him up on the stage, and then he just became their friend, and he DM'd for them when they do D&D.
No way.
Yes, they have a show called Harmon Quest, which is animated. Yes, so that's Spencer Crittenden is that guy, the DM, and he's just a dude that was showing up at their shows that now has a job working with Dan Harmon.
That's so cool.
Yeah, right. And like 355 podcast appearances or something like that.
Wow.
But yeah, so I recommend listening to it just because it was a really interesting and fun podcast that is now dead, and it's, I don't know, it's cool. It's kind of nice to look back on stuff like this and just kind of appreciate how weird it was. It also featured like a lot of really interesting people. Like the voice of Goldenfold, Brandon something.
Oh, me neither.
Yeah. So he's regularly on there. Jeff B. Davis is regularly on there. There's a guy named Rob Schraub who's known primarily as a comedy writer.
Rob Schraub.
Yeah, right. What a name, right? He's regularly on there. He's the guy who, if I told you about Dan Harmon called him a cheapy peepee on stage, and then he got really serious about it, and it became him like menacingly into the microphone, going, "I'm not a cheapy peepee, Dan." It's just these two guys have known each other forever, and their arguments are like ridiculous.
Cheapy peepee.
Cheapy.
Hilarious.
It's like clearly something that's just meant to be a joke, but he takes it really seriously. So yeah, listen to Harmontown. It's cool, and I don't know if it'll stop being available soon. I mean, Harmon walked out on Starburns, which is that production company or whatever. So who knows? It might not be available soon. So give it a listen. Give it a quick send off, I guess.
Give it your panties.
Whatever you generally do. Yeah.
All right.
Give it a nice kiss on the lips on Super Bowl Sunday.
So what if anything have we learned?
I didn't learn that much.
Sorry.
I didn't learn that much.
I learned that irons are definitely supposed to be flat.
Yeah. I learned that we're going to apparently start doing hot takes on Monopoly pieces.
I learned that ponies can outrun ninjas.
Oh, good one. I learned that you should fuck that guy, but definitely don't fuck that lady.
Right.
And
At
if
the DMV.
and if you're gonna fuck that guy, you got to do it at the DMV.
Yeah, you got
Right.
fuck that guy.
I
at the
told you to
DMV.
stop it.
Oh my god.
You could be a little nicer.
She doesn't speak the language.
Come on, you have a phone. You could have solved this problem yourself.
Buddy.
Body, my anus.
Oh, friend, you should be nicer to your wife. It's so stupid.
Betty Rubble over there mumbling in Cantonese.
Oh my god. I learned you can don't fuck someone anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
yes.
Anytime, too.
Right.
I'm don't fucking tons of people right now.
I wrote a Genghis Khan too much raping, and I also wrote Mongol dirty bastard
So did I.
too much rapping.
Too much rapping.
Yeah, that Genghis Khan was a serial rapist.
Serial rapist.
I learned that I should never say nipple boil to Dave ever again.
Don't say that to me ever again. I don't know what I'm sorry. I don't know what inspired that reaction, but I do not like
Discomfort,
nipple boil.
obviously.
Yes. Feels too.
I learned that we could all be short sword masters if we weren't fat.
Oh,
Yeah,
big mood.
Being fat is a huge limiter on some of these things.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You said big, but it sounded like big. And you said big fat.
Big
I just
fat.
thought about like fat Big Crosby.
What?
I don't know. I just
Big fat
That's
Big?
where this is an insight to how my mind works. I just thought of fat Bing Crosby.
All right.
Bing fat.
Wow.
Swinging a bag of oranges at his kids.
How does that imagination work?
Do you guys have anything else?
The last thing I wrote is that sometimes you just got to laser them to death.
Yeah.
I wrote that chainsaw bayonet is every man's fantasy.
Yeah, dude.
It's true. It's that male fantasy.
This is why I hate video games, because it's just like
It appeals to the male fantasy.
Yeah. Footage from Pokemon Snap immediately follows.
Is that Kermit the Frog with two katanas smoking a blunt? There was one that they did of that I can't find anymore, but it's immediately after, because it caters to the male fantasy.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of players in TF2 doing a conga line to that Gloria Estefan song. Come on, shake your body, baby, do the conga. No,
you can just a thin
conga.
That's fucking great.
Awesome.
That's been one of the most productive memes of my lifetime, I feel like. There's so
really
many
funny.
great examples of that.
It's really funny.
Yeah.
Anyone can play video games. It's not play video games. They're all fun.
Yeah.
They're all really fun.
Ladies like video games. Dudes
Ladies,
like video games.
ladies love video
the
games.
video
Oh,
games.
I know what the ladies like.
Ladies like armor plating.
Ladies like armor plating. You could easily say the same thing of The Witcher, except that like
My wife wants to play The Witcher 3.
my wife wants to play The Witcher 3 and watch the series because she really likes Geralt.
Yeah, I really like Geralt. Fuck.
Geralt.
Yeah, The Witcher. I love
Geralt of Rivia.
The TV
Witcher.
The TV show's really good.
I only picture
It
him
is
in a
really
bathtub
good.
for some reason.
yeah,
Why do I only picture Geralt in a bathtub?
Because he would undoubtedly look
Yeesh.
good naked.
He shows up in the bathtub a lot in the show and a lot in the video
Yeah,
games.
why is he taking baths so
Because he
much?
looks good naked, dude.
Because
Thirst
unfortunately
trap video gaming.
Because unfortunately, he's well known enough that he has to go to formal occasions sometimes, and he hates them.
Oh, so
But
he's got to be presentable.
Sometimes he's got to take a bath, and he hates it. It's like a stubborn puppy, which is
funny.
probably why women like him.
Yeah.
I see it.
But anyway,
That's that, huh?
that's that. Whoa. I yanked my headphones out, but that's that.
Okay. Well, thank you for that topic, Ben. That was a
Yeah,
fun
that was fun.
episode.
It was a lot of
Yeah,
fun.
totally. And we'll be back next week when Dave takes the reins. Next week or the week after, depending on
Yeah,
D&D.
D&D, what we end up doing.
Oh,
You
yeah.
said you were going to do poetry. Do you still want to stay with that subject?
Oh, yeah.
Poetry. That's right. Remind me what the idea was.
We bring in our favorite poems and recite them.
That's right.
Yeah.
Or at least just talk about just
I
poetry
know
that
what
we've
you're talking
remembered
about
and
is-
enjoyed.
I will make a list of. I will bring a list of poems in and read them for you. I told you I'm going to get weepy if we do this because there's a couple that really get to me.
I'll bring my favorite in, but it's a fucking long one.
I'll tell you what. I'll bring in the one that I have published too, and I'll read it because I'm an idiot and I want everybody to hear my dumbass bullshit.
Yeah, well, you know what? I'll bring in my published one too.
Yes.
So this is going to be one that I feel like a handful of people are going to want to skip, and that's fine.
No, we'll make it fun.
I mean, we'll make it fun, but you know, if this isn't necessarily your bag, don't feel bad skipping it.
Yeah,
we
we'll
really
fine.
get into this stuff.
We only do this show for ourselves, really. And
Right.
it's appreciated that we have fans and all.
Yeah.
It's just like, you know.
We've said a million times. It's a Tuesday venting ritual. Like,
Yeah.
we just get to get stuff out of the ether. So.
Yeah. This is so that when I'm 78, I can remember what I was like.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
And then immediately die.
You're right.
Because I should have been dead for 10
And then
years at
immediately
that
be
point.
like, who's this asshole on the radio? He sounds like a cunt.
sounds like a prick. Back him. Pussy.
Who calls themselves captain? You were never in the Navy.
All these guys are doing is burping. If I wanted to hear that, I'd go into the mess hall. Hear all the other old fucks.
The mess hall?
The mess
Wait,
hall.
is he like a really, really old Marine?
Yeah, sure.
No, it's
Like a geriatric Marine.
Yeah, right. He's like the really old soldiers unit.
What do they mean by the skin train to Tuna Town? Who's Donald Trump?
Oh, God. Oh, my God.
oh, if only.
Think about how fun that's going to be.
Forgetting Donald Trump because of dementia.
Think about how fun that will be.
Think about how fun dementia's going to be.
It's going to be great. Oh, God. Dead air.
Dead air.
Too sad.
Dementia jokes.
Let's end this episode.
We're going to end the episode. We're going to dab on them. We're going to fucking
Look at my dad.
come back next episode, and Dave is going to host.
Yes,
We're going to
poetry.
have poetry, and it's gonna be great. It's going to be great.
It's going to be great. So thanks for listening.
No, don't.
See you next time.
See you, bitches.
Bitches.
See you next time on the Dude Test. Bye.